In football have come against South Portland.
Yeah, but Tommy, this is a different South Portland team. This is a South Portland team that has a very strong defense. They can run the ball with Timmy Lawson, and Jason Cook is as good a quarterback as you'll find in the state.
On the other side, Tom Waterman, the quarterback for the Bangor Rams, just his third varsity start. He is a sophomore filling in for the injured Richie Day.
Yeah, well, he's a sophomore, but he's 3-0 in those starts. And Tommy Waterman has won 2 other state championships in basketball and baseball, and he says he's going to get one in football today.
He's completed 4 passes in the playoffs. 2 of them have been for touchdowns, so he is certainly a clutch player at the quarterback position. Couple of strong defenses on the field today.
Absolutely. Both good run-stopping defenses. Ironically, Bangor is a team that loves to run the football with Josh Morse, so it should be a good game.
Bangor has 4 shutouts to its credit this year. South Portland has 5. We'll see if somebody gets shut out here today. We will have the kickoff next. Bangor, South Portland for the state championship live on Fox 51.
Seed Dealers by Tri-State Megabucks. Boise Cascade Paper Division. By your New England Ford dealers. By Dunkin' Donuts. By Coca-Cola. Always slammin', always Coca-Cola. And by your Maine, New Hampshire Chevy dealers.
You're looking live at Fitzpatrick Stadium in Portland. We're set for the Maine Class A State Championship. Couple of teams wearing red and white today. Just to add to our pleasure up here in the broadcast booth, it is the South Portland Red Riots against the Bangor Rams. Tom Karen, Dave Ead, and Mike Bailey, head coach of the Portland Bulldogs, with us here today. Mike, I know you'd rather be down there, but I want to thank you for joining us up here and tell us a little about these 2 teams. You've seen them both this season.
Yeah, we saw Bangor earlier in the year. They were young and coming along, and they've improved a lot, actually. They're kind of a wide-open offensive team, pretty strong on defense and real strong on special teams. South Portland, on the other hand, they want to control the football, keep your offense off the field, and rely on defense to win their games.
See the starting lineups being introduced right now. They'll go through, I think, the entire teams, actually, in order of class as the pregame ceremonies go on here at Fitzpatrick Stadium. One of the nicer days we've seen for a Class A state championship in a while, at least as far as the temperature goes. I can still feel my toes, which is more than we're usually able to say at this point. Dave Ead, you've seen both these teams as well this season, following them for Fox 51 Sports. It's a pretty good matchup on paper. A couple of teams probably try to establish themselves on the ground before they get it going in the air.
Absolutely, Tommy, especially the Bangor Rams. That's going to be the key for them today. If they can run the football, they keep obviously the South Portland offense off the field. And South Portland's a team, as we mentioned in the outset, they can do it all. They can do it in the air and they can do it on the ground. But really, the key for Bangor today is going to be running the football. And of course, Josh Morse has got to have a big afternoon. He is the go-to guy on the ground.
Drew Hughes being introduced right now, big 6'1", 200-pound senior guard. And Mike, we were talking right before we came on the air. A lot of times you see Drew Hughes, you'll see the ball coming behind him shortly.
Oh, without a doubt. They actually even like to flip-flop sides with him. He's an offensive guard. If they want to run the sweep with Lawson in the backfield, they're going to put him to that side. If they want to run a waggle pass play, they're going to put him to that side. So he's definitely the go-to man that Lawson's going to follow upfield for the big yardage.
First of all, we know one thing today. We will have a new state champion. The Biddeford Tigers not out on the field this season, and should be interesting to see the 2 teams go at it. Bangor really hasn't been here since the realignment led to the current East-West setup in Class A, and no coincidence that the return of the legend is the return of Bangor back here at the state championship game.
Oh, I think so. Gabby Price certainly is a legend in the Bangor area. When he was here before he retired for that short stint, he had them in the state championship year in and year out. The program slipped a little, and he re-entered the picture, and they're back in prominence again.
We will get it going with our national anthem as we get set for football here at Fitzpatrick Stadium. has won the coin toss. The Red Riots will receive. Real quickly, Mike Bailey, what do you want to establish if you're John Wolfgram early in the going? What are we going to see from these Red Riots in the first few plays?
One of the things I'm kind of surprised is that I think it's one of the first times John has decided to take the football. Usually when he wins the coin toss, he defers and goes on defense first, because that's, again, is what he believes in, and that's his trademark as a coach. So it'll be interesting to see how the Red Riots come out in their first series.
Pretty good crowd here at Fitzpatrick Stadium. More full as you'd expect on the South Portland side. And in fact, Mike Bailey, you were on mission on that one. They won the toss. We were given misinformation. The South Portland Red Riots will indeed be kicking off.
Okay, that's what John prefers to do. And again, like I said, his trademark certainly is defense, and he puts a lot of emphasis on defense winning football games.
Mike Pelkey is way back for the Bangor Rams as we get set for the kickoff at the start of this Maine State Championship in Class A football. We are ready for the kick. It is up. Blackwood's kick is a short one, taken at the 10-yard line by Pelkey. He can break it open, but he's taken down quickly here at the 22-yard line. That's where Bangor will get it started. Let's take a look at the Bangor offense here as we get it going for the state championship game. Dave?
Tommy, pretty good offense. There's the sophomore Tommy Waterman. He'll be a quarterback. Some good runners, Mike Cooper and Josh Morse, over 800 yards. Mike Pelkey is one guy that can really disrupt the game, both offensively and defensively. There are the ends, Jason St. Pierre and Matt O'Connell, the tight end, and an excellent offensive line headed by Eric York.
The sophomore quarterback Waterman hands off quickly, and a nice gain right there, up the middle, banging through. Making a few yards on the play is number 33 for the Bangor Rams. That is Josh Morse. He's the guy you expect to carry the ball a lot.
He's the guy, he's the go-to guy on the ground. And like we said, for Bangor to be successful today, Josh Morse is going to have a big afternoon.
Call it a pickup of 4. We'll have, or rather, a pickup of 6. It'll be a 2nd down and 4 for the Bangor Rams. Again, the quarterback, sophomore Tom Waterman. He fumbles it, gets it back now. Waterman flushed out to his left. He'll be taken down back there. Number 81 of the South Portland Red Riots. The tackle taken by Ben Beck.
Boy, that was a big play right there. We talked in the outset about Tommy Waterman. Couple fumbles in his first 3 starts.
Yeah, I was up to Gardner a few weeks ago when he had to step in for Richie Day. In the first couple of snaps, he did put the ball on the ground, but I'm sure he's progressing. There's a little pre-game jitter right now, and first part of the game jitter, and I'm sure he'll overcome that.
You saw the South Portland starting defense out there, and now it'll be a 3rd down and 14 to go for the Bangor Rams. Waterman hasn't passed a lot. Again, pressed into duty when quarterback Richie Day was injured. The handoff here up the middle doesn't go for much as Morse is met at the line of scrimmage.
That's what you want right there, 3 and out, and they're going to have excellent field position right here, Coach.
Sure, they definitely are. But one of the interesting things with Bangor just then is they ran 3 offensive plays. They used 3 different offensive sets. So I think Gabby might be a feeling out process of maybe what set's going to work or change South Portland's defense.
Pelkey will punt. He does it all. Gabby Price gets it up to about midfield, taking it and calling the fair catch there is Ben French, number 80, back in the lineup. He and Sexton add a lot to this team.
Oh, they definitely do. You know, they're Class A all-star players, and they help offensively and defensively, and there's people you have to regard every single play of the game. Ben
French, 170 pounds, 5'11", you see him there. 2-week suspension to he and Randy Sexton for some disciplinary activity, and back in the state championship game, although South Portland managed to look pretty good without them last week.
Well, I think it shows a good program. The younger kid stepped up and did the job.
Moving around to his left side is the workhorse Lawson, but he doesn't get much there. Might have lost a yard or 2. Tim Lawson, the fullback. And again, an offense that can do a lot of things. Cook can throw the ball, but Lawson can certainly make things happen.
They definitely want to establish the run for us with Lawson, and they'll even put him in the fullback spot if they want to run a fullback play, or to the tailback, slip him out of the backfield on pass. So he definitely is the person that they want to establish first, and then if they can't, they'll change.
Junior quarterback Jason Cook for John Wolfgram's Red Riots, 6 foot even, 168 pounds. He'll look over the line now. 2nd down, it was a loss of a yard. 2nd and 11, the handoff goes back to Lawson. He picks up a couple of this yards as he gets almost up to the 45. We'll say it's a gain of 3. It'll set him up at 3rd and 8.
Timmy Lawson over 1,000 yards on the ground this year, and Not bad for a junior.
Oh, not at all. He worked real hard in the offseason with the weights and running and preparing himself, to have an outstanding season. So, the work's paying off right now for him.
There's a starting offensive unit for the South Portland Red Riots. A great offensive line. Ryan Wallingford, Drew Hughes, as we mentioned before, he's everywhere.
Talking about Lawson, 20 touchdowns, but now it'll be Jason Cook back to throw, but he's flushed and has to get back to the line of scrimmage. Good job by the Rams defense. They shut the door there, and the Riots will be forced to punt. And Cook comes off limping just a bit. Looks like he may have hurt his left knee.
Yeah, well, he hurt his knee a few weeks ago, and it has been tender. As a matter of fact, just before one of the playoff games, he didn't practice at all, and did appear in the game. So that's going to be a factor, definitely.
You see Cook down there on the field. They come out to tend to him as they do. Let's take a timeout. No score in the first quarter of the Class A State Championship live on Fox 51. Cook still down on the field. The South Portland Red Riots quarterback injured in that play as he tried to get back up. Mike, you were telling us again that the knee hurt a couple of weeks back. And what happens to this team if Cook has to miss a series or any real amount of time?
Well, I'm sure John Wolfgram has prepared his backup quarterback. I believe it's O'Neill who's the backup. And again, when you get to this part of your season, you're going to make sure that you have everyone in place. And again, it could happen anytime, anywhere during the season. So I don't think much would change, actually. The throwing game might be a little less, but I'm sure, again, they're going to try to establish Lawson in the running game first and let their defense do the job.
Looks like his knee might have buckled under there on that play. It's really tough to tell from that angle. Now he's picking up his own power, which is really a good sign.
You'll see him back in the game.
Takes an awful lot to take a kid out of the state.
Get all went to the heel.
So now we will have a punting situation from South Portland here.
Again, you can still see it's a feeling out process. South Portland's 3-0, Bangor was 3-0, and it's a chess match.
The punt from Blackwood, rolling back to the 10-yard line, and South Portland will let it die there, so it'll be good field position for South Portland as they, again, put Bangor back in deep as the Rams try to get something going. Neither team yet to pick up a first down, and we have just over 8:20 remaining, 8:22 remaining in the first quarter of this game. Bangor against South Portland. Again, for you trivia buffs, the 3 Bangor State Championships came against the South Portland Red Riots, but those were all back in the 70s, and I guess if you're a coach, that doesn't mean much today.
No, it doesn't at all. It was a long time ago.
Now the handoff right up the middle, not much there for the Rams, as South Portland again shuts the door. Pretty good defensive line for South Portland. Tough to get things going.
Excellent. They come off the ball superb. They're probably one of the best I've seen in recent years as far as their down 3 linemen trying to control the line of scrimmage and keeping their heads up and flowing with the running back. They do a great job.
Blackwood in on the tackle there.
Funny, we haven't seen a pass yet, guys, and there's no wind and perfect weather conditions, so maybe we'll see Tommy Waterman fire one up here.
Tom Waterman. Long call. Now the pitch out will come over to the near side. Working it around there is Mike Cooper. He's able to get past the 15-yard line, knocked out of bounds, close to a first down.
Boy, I saw Mike Cooper in practice earlier this week, and he was knocking every DB in sight. I mean, he was just going right at him. This kid is a tough runner, puts his head down, and he just bowls away for yardage.
Yeah. But the player that made that play work is Mike Pelkey. He was out at flanker, came in motion and cracked back on number 81 back. And he established the corner for the running back to pick up the yardage.
They'll mark it out of bounds at the 18-yard line. 3rd down and 2 now for the Bangor Rams, looking for the first down of this game. We're scoreless in the first quarter. Handoff up the middle. Cooper tripped up. I don't think he got it.
It's going to be real close, but again, Blackwood in on the hit. And I think South Portland's going to get the football here.
The thing South Portland's picking up each time is great field position. Bangor, both of their possessions have started on the 10-yard line or right around there. South Portland starting roughly on their 50-yard line. It looks like they might be in that area again, and that can start to play a factor in the game.
Penalty will be called here against the Rams. I think their center went down and was set while their 11th man tried to get out here in time, and I think they will call some type of motion here on Bangor. Yeah, well, it'll go back 5 yards.
Bangor.
Looks like they were a little bit discombobulated coming off the sidelines. Not everyone got out in time, and center went down, and Should have been set.
I think Mike hit the nail on the head, really. These two teams filling each other out at this point, and you might see South Portland on this next series open things up a little bit.
South Portland also likes to run a wall in this situation for their punt return, so you might be looking for that also.
Flag is waved off.
There it is.
So on the
coming down
fourth
the right
down,
side.
short, high punt off Pelkey. It'll only get to about the 35. Good roll for Bangor, but still only the 39-yard line. Tough situation there for a kicker, and he got the height on it certainly, but didn't get out very far.
But again, this is what South Portland's going to do: is play field position, play great defense, and keep backing you up until they can take the opportunity and punch one in.
So excellent field position here for South Portland, the 39-yard line. The Riots looking to get something going here. And it is, in fact, Jim O'Neill out to call snap. So Cook.
Ben French just jumped off on
French jumped off there. So O'Neill comes in, the senior, who normally comes out of the backfield when he's in there as a halfback, is the backup quarterback, 5'9", 152 pounds. Again, Mike, as you said, certainly you've got your backup ready for a situation like this, but he's not the guy taking the bulk of the snaps all week.
Oh, absolutely. It could be, a factor in this. But again, I'm certainly going to put the pressure on Tim Lawson right now and see if he can carry the football team, not O'Neill.
Could be a battle of a couple of young quarterbacks then. O'Neill out there, although he is a senior, again, not the experienced starter that Jason Cook is. On the other side, it's Tom Waterman. Now O'Neill with the handoff, met in the backfield by a swarm of Rams. Big play there for Bangor as they actually push South Portland back into its own territory. Tim Lawson couldn't get anything going there, Dave.
Yeah, Kevin Dutton with a big-time stick right there on Lawson. Beautiful play. Take another look at it. I'll tell you, this Bangor team, we said they can stuff the run, and when you can stuff Tim Lawson, that's a pretty good job right there. Also in on the hit was number 57, Eric York. Jason Cook is running on the sideline, so we could see him maybe in the next series.
I think he's going to Coach Wolfgram and tell him he's ready to go in right now.
Jim O'Neill takes the snap, handoff, moving up the middle, as Andrew Foss said. He couldn't get much, just got back to midfield, so it'll be 3rd and long for the South Portland Red Riots.
And Cook's going back into the game, I believe, right now. Good time to get him back in 3rd and long because he can certainly throw the football very, very well.
Cook talking to Coach John Wolfgram on the South Portland sideline. Now he will indeed head back into the game. That'll get a nice hand out of the South Portland faithful, and not the ideal opportunity for a quarterback to come back in. 3rd and 21 from the 50-yard line. 4.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter of a scoreless game. In motion is Lawson. He gets the ball, moving around to the right side, gets away from one tackler, then dragged down. And he will be taken out by Pelkey. And a good idea, picked up some yardage at the beginning, but you needed more than that.
He definitely did. Again, he's first play back into the game, and right now they're going to see if Tim Lawson can carry the football team, and they aren't going to make a mistake. They don't mind punting the ball here and keeping Bangor deep in their own territory.
Pick up a 7 there by Lawson, so it'll be 4th and 14, call it 15. And back to punt will be Blackwood. Gets off a good one, end over end, calling for the fair catch is Pelkey. He will hold on to it at the 12-yard line. Let's take a timeout. No score in the first quarter. You're watching the state championship game on Fox. First down passing play is incomplete by the sophomore quarterback Tom Waterman as he tried to up. Here's a look at it.
Yeah, just a little low for his receiver there, Tommy, but Bangor was doing a lot of practice, doing a lot of throwing the ball in practice this week, so which really caught me by surprise. So maybe they'll try to open things up here. Obviously, the ground game hasn't been too good.
Of course, they know the cameras are going to be there in practice, so you can't go by what they do.
That's for sure. Kids get all excited when they see the cameras.
Oh, fumble! Drawing a fumble, scramble for it over on the far side. Bangor able to get it back, but it'll be no gain, maybe a yard at best. Just a big hit there, popping that ball right out of the basket.
Wow, that's a big-time stick coming up here as the ball comes loose. Let's see what happens here. That's power with the run, and let's see who gets the ball for Bangor. Number 56, Chris Wright. Boy, oh boy, that could have really hurt.
Ball is out near the 14. 3rd down.
Heads up play by the offensive guard, Wright, to be able to grab that ball and avert catastrophe. 3rd and 9 now for the Rams. Waterman drops back. He's looking to throw, gets it over to the right side again, short, and unable to come away with it is Fawcett. So it'll be 4th and 9 for the Rams. They again will be forced to punt, and again, South Portland will have good field position.
Again, Bangor's using a lot of variety, in their offensive set. They actually had the receiver open. Ryan, number 60, the defensive end, did a great job getting his hands up. So Waterman had to throw around him. Again, you may see South Portland trying to run a wall. They tried it last time, the count was short. And here it comes again to our side.
Belke gets off a better kick this time. Spiral, taken, and held on to there. So South Portland takes over. We take a break. No score in the first quarter on Fox 51 Sports.
27-yard kick, no return. The Red Lions.
Well, you were away, a passing play incomplete, but this time dangerous from the Bangor Rams. The throw was in and out of the hands of the receiver. It'll be incomplete.
It's very seldom that Ben French will miss a football, and that time he did. And again, that's South Portland's favorite pass play. It's called a waggle, and they go, it's a misdirection. They fake Lawson one way and roll out away from his action, and it just didn't work that time.
Yeah, it was very close to being 6, actually.
Cook threw it well, about 25 yards in the air, and French actually spun around, got it in his hands, and it flipped back up. Now the handoff up the middle, big hole there, gaining through, moving over to the right, and almost to a first down is Sean Upton, the junior running back.
Sean Upton, a nice move, kind of looked like a counter trap on the inside, and not a guy that really gets the ball a lot on the ground. Usually they leave it up to Lawson, but Sean Upton, a nice run right here. Look at the hole open up. Boy, oh boy, he could have driven a truck through that hole.
And again, coming off the passing play, really maybe catching the Rams back a little bit, thinking what these Riots might do, and they were able to take advantage of a hole.
Sure, you definitely want to keep mixing it up. You know, they came out and threw the ball, like you said, last time, went to the run this time. And actually what happens on that play, it's a counter play. But again, your defense is so focused on Tim Lawson, you know, and then focused to the fullback. You really don't think of that reverse coming back. But now you can see Coach Wolfgram start to open things up and see, okay, I tried this. You know, they were shutting this down. But he's going to find the weapon that's open.
Is he the kind of a coach that will say, okay, this is not working, so we're going to do something else?
Well, he'll do that somewhat. Again, he's going to keep going back to Tim Lawson because that's the horse that got him here, if you want to call it that. But he's going to mix in some things as he goes.
3rd and inches, straight ahead. Lawson, good second effort. Looks like he's got it easily.
Yeah.
Over the 30-yard line, he'll have the first down. Met some resistance early on, but Lawson's so strong, he can just plow right ahead if he gets any room at all.
Definitely. And again, that's a situation. You needed the first down. You go to your best, you know, back, and he gets it for you, and that's what you're going to do throughout this big game.
Watch the line of scrimmage right here, guys. It looked like Lawson could have been met for a loss, but like Tommy said, the good second effort got him the first down and keeps his drive alive for South Portland.
2 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Jumping off sides, one of the Rams. So looks like South Portland will pick up 5 easy yards there. They started from the 29-yard line, and that was the first down play of the game by either team so far. And as you said, Mike, starting to mix it up a little. John Wolfgram got the offense moving.
Yeah, again, like I think the first couple series you got a feeling out process, and like John Wolfgram is starting to go to some different things. Use a few more formations that he didn't show at the very beginning of the game. This situation, he likes to run Lawson to a sweep left. And he runs the fullback.
It is the fullback straight up the middle.
That's why I'm standing up here, not down there.
Couple of yards there as I think it was Fawcett taking it in. Was on the left side of center. Anyway, we'll give you credit on that one. As,
here's your call right here, Coach. Nice call. Nice little run. It'll bring up a 2nd and 2. Penalties down there. I mean, they got to make a coach go great.
Oh, they definitely do. Without a doubt. And again, you're trying to play mistake-free football in a big game like this, and the kids are doing their best, though.
2nd and 2 now for the Riots. 1:09 remaining in the first quarter. The handoff is to Lawson. He breaks a couple of tackles, but is still taken down at the 30-yard line. Getting in there for Gabby Price was Morse and Cattell.
Yeah.
As they did a nice job getting over quickly to stop Lawson before he could get ahead of steam.
Keep your eyes on number 34 for Bangor in white, Kevin Dutton. He's been all over the field defensively for this team this afternoon. He'll be the one that'll finally bring Timmy Lawson down. Nice effort by Lawson.
That's a great effort on the Bangor defense to stay with it and keep backing one another up.
3rd and a long one for the Riots. Now the pitch back is to Lawson. He finds some room and gets to about the 15-yard line. First down, South Portland.
This is the kind of drive we've been used to seeing from South Portland all season long. A little bit of passing, a little bit of running, and so far it looks like it's starting to click finally for John Wolfgrim's offense.
Sure, and again, it's right in the philosophy of John. It's to start with field position, and keep moving, and again, possess the clock.
15 seconds remaining on that clock here in the first quarter. Coming in now over to the right side, Ben French will be split out. The quarterback, Cook, will look for French. He gets it to him all alone. He cuts through a couple of tackles, taken down at the 5-yard line. First down, Red Riots. At the end of the quarter, the Red Riots in good position. They will take the ball at about the 5-yard line when we come back. No score after one quarter. You're watching the Class A State Championship on Fox 51 Sport. Tim Lawson ran it ahead 2 yards on first down. Now it's second and goal from the 3-yard line. Let's go back to live where the quarterback Cook is about to take the snap. He does. Hand off to the right side. It's Lawson. He bangs through just towards the line. No motion yet. Right at the line. South Portland thought he had it.
On the tackle.
Right on the goal line,
The officials do not give the motion, so it'll be third and goal from an inch.
This has got to be 4-down territory here, Coach.
Oh, without a doubt. State championship game, tied ball game, you're going to go for the touchdown.
Last week they had great success against your Bulldogs team on fourth down.
They sure did. 3 of their touchdowns came on fourth down.
3rd and 1. We are in the second minute of play here in the second quarter. Cook, the quarterback, will hand off to Lawson. He busts through. Touchdown! South Portland gets on the board. 37 yards they have gained in this game so far, but the biggest inches came right there from the big back. Tim Lawson, the junior fullback, makes it 6-0 South Portland.
Well, I'm sorry, Coach. This was a good drive by South Portland. Like we mentioned, really, they finish it off with the run. Tim Lawson going in from inches out, and really a drive they needed.
Oh, yeah, they're very, very effective in the red zone. An interesting thing on that, they moved Tim Lawson to fullback. I don't know if anyone picked up on that, but again, they're going to try to get him the ball as many ways as possible.
Blackwood's extra point is blocked at the line, so it will stay 6-0, and we will take a timeout. South Portland 6, Bangor nothing in the second quarter on Fox 51 Sports. Tim Lawson's 1 yard, less than a yard plunge has put the Riots up top 6-0. And it'll be Blackwood kicking off for South Portland. Early in the second quarter here, it has been really all South Portland so far. 41 yards of offense for South Portland, just 6 yards of offense so far for the Bangor Rams. They have not yet had a first down. Here's Blackwood's kick. Kind of a squib liner taken on the right side, and a fumble off the head, a big hit there, and it is South Portland with the football.
Wow, you could almost hear that hit up here in the booth.
That was a great hit.
Mike Cooper had the ball. We'll see who got in there first for South Portland.
Boy, oh boy, let's keep our eyes. Cooper's a guy that really doesn't fumble the ball. Let's see who takes a hit here, 59.
59 with the head down, laying that full head of steam hit right there.
Buck.
Rico Mucci.
I believe it's Ed Buck.
Ed
South
Buck.
Portland.
Oh, I'm sorry. Good point. Ed Buck laid the big hit, and now the pass on the right side, taken down. But a pickup by French. Ben French out wide to the right. It'll be a gain of about 6.
I guess you would say that the buck stopped there.
It certainly did. He put a hit on him, and this is one of the things Gabby Price did not want. Again, just giving up a touchdown. You want to come back, establish some offense, and maybe even give up the ball then, but not have a turnover right after a touchdown.
You saw the catch by French, pickup of 5, 2nd and 5 now for South Portland. They're at the 27-yard line of Bangor. Cook has the football. Quick handoff up the middle, scooting over to the left and running in untouched for the touchdown, Andrew Fawcett.
Wow. 3 plays and they're back in the end zone.
They faked the handoff and everybody followed Lawson, and that left number 23, the senior, Andrew Fawcett, all alone to scoot in. Look at that, untouched.
Man, oh man, if this was touch football, they wouldn't have had him. I mean, that hole was huge. Andrew Fawcett, what does this do now to the Bangor defense, their psyche?
Well, I think, again, the Bangor offense has got to pick it up a little and start to control the football some, but that certainly is a big turn of events. The first quarter, we have no score, and now it's 12-0.
Having their extra point blocked earlier. Now Cook will try to throw for the two-point conversion, but he's taken down in the backfield. So again, it'll be just the 6 points as Jeff Garrett got in there for the sack on the two-point conversion. Let's take a timeout. 12-0 South Portland on Fox 51 Sports. South Portland leading it after that costly turnover from last kickoff. And then the 22-yard touchdown by Andrew Fawcett. It is 12-0. Twice the conversions were blocked. Once a one-point kick attempt, once the two-point conversion attempt. Now Blackwood will kick again from the 40 for South Portland. A good kick there. Taken over on the right side. And coming around to the right side, trying to pick up some room there. But taken down quickly for Bangor was Casey Cattell.
Tommy, now we're going to see what this Bangor team is made of. If they can put together a nice drive here, 9 minutes, 33 seconds to go before halftime, we got ourselves a new ball game. This is a very, very big series early on for the Bangor Rams.
Oh, without a doubt. They've got to get some field position. That's the biggest thing. They've played this whole game in their own side of the 50-yard line, and they've got to establish some offense. Even if they don't score, and South Portland doesn't score, you're still in the ball game.
9:20 is the time remaining here in the second quarter. Fumble on the snap. Waterman couldn't take it, but Bangor able to recover an alert backfield there, covering it up for their quarterback. And now, again, confidence, the sophomore quarterback, starting to be a little bit of an issue here.
Sure it is. Gabby Price might want to be thinking to use a timeout, go in and talk to his offense a little and, settle them down some, because they are a good football team, and they don't want to be in a panic situation right now.
Going to have to get Tommy some stickum there. He's having trouble hanging on to the football today.
A couple of weeks ago in his first playoff game, he fumbled the first snap. And that went on to be a Waterville touchdown, but he came back with a good effort. Now a good effort by the defensive line of the Red Riots as the Rams unable to pick up much there, and it'll be 3rd and 12 anyway.
One of the things we want to pick up on, that's not Waterman at quarterback anymore. That's Richie Day, who was their quarterback the whole season, and he had to fumble the first snap, so he probably does have some pregame jitters.
That's right. He had actually the collapsed lung, and that was in the Gardner game about 4 weeks back. So Day back in there, and he was playing on defense, and now he's taking the snaps, his first snaps in really 5 weeks.
That's
anyway.
right, exactly.
So now Richie Day looking over it again. He fumbles and has to cover it up.
Is this something Gabby wanted to avoid? Obviously, he probably wanted to go and see how far Waterman could go, but now you got to go to a guy that's really probably going at half speed.
Well, I don't know if he's going at half speed or not. I think what was happening, it's a psyche of the team you're dealing with, too. Waterman's been leading the club through the playoffs, so you're going to give him the start. It's like in baseball. You give your starter the opportunity to go out and win the ball game, and if not, then you go to your relievers.
Pelkey back to punt. Again, a high punt will just get out to midfield. Fair catch called by French. And that's where South Portland will start it. When we come back, we'll take a break. You're watching the state championship game on Fox 51 Sports. Hand off to Fawcett, picked up about 3 yards for South Portland. It'll be 2nd and 10 time remaining in the second quarter. It's 12-0 South Portland, and the Riots on the verge of blowing this one open. Cook will hand off to Lawson. He swoops around to the right side, gets up to about the 42-yard line before he's taken down. That'll be a pickup of about 4 yards rather, and really South Portland could put Bangor in an awfully deep hole here.
Oh, without a doubt. Again, South Portland starting this drive on the 50-yard line. They're doing a great job. I think the other thing you're starting to see is a little bigger, stronger South Portland team wearing down a Bangor team a little. I notice the offensive line is starting to control the defensive line a little.
Jason Cook standing up to the line of scrimmage. He will hand off to the second back through. That's Lawson. He bullies his way over the 40-yard line. 41, close to a first down on the 3rd and 3.
This would be an interesting call for Coach Wolfgram.
From the spot, it certainly looks like he is short of the first down.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be close. Looks like Lawson may have just come up a couple inches short, but they're going to have to measure this one, I would imagine.
He got spun around on his back when he got tackled, and that's always the toughest way to get a spot. When the football's up on your chest, you lie on the back. It's not easy for the officials to see where the ball goes.
Exactly.
And it looks like they may have not helped Wolfgram and the Riots very much with that spot. It'll be 4th and less than a yard. At the 39-yard line, Wolfgram, no hesitation at all. The Red Riots will go
Tim
for
Lawson's
it.
at fullback again.
Lawson is the fullback. Instead, it's the handoff quickly to Lawson, and it's a first down. So there it is. You give it to your big man. You let him do the work.
Right. Put him in the position to, make the first down. And again, if it's a tailback, get it down there and move him to fullback as they did just then.
Well, that's got to show confidence in your offensive line, to get that big yard, because there's a big, shift of emotion if you get stopped on that play. The score's still 12-0, but as you can see, Timmy Lawson getting that inch and then some.
South Portland has made the big plays all year long, and again, you aren't going to change your philosophy right now. You're going to, get it done with your big offensive linemen and let your best back go behind them.
5.5 minutes now remaining in the first half. 12-0 South Portland with the ball, looking for more. Cook quickly out to French, but just off his fingertips. And we've got a flag after the play back here on the near hash marks.
I think number 66 for Bangor actually tipped that ball a little and changed the course of it a little.
So the call is
against
offensive interference against South Portland. Tough to see from that replay, although we were following the ball there, and it looked like it might have been just off the ball before the throw was made by Cook. So that'll be marched off against South Portland. And
actually, that flag came in from the other side. Cook was lined up on the left. The flag came in from on the right, so maybe there was some pushing off.
I'll tell you what, here's an interesting stat. This half, South Portland has averaged their starting drive at the Bangor 41. So, you talk about field position. It doesn't get any better than that.
But that's true. Obviously, that's a tribute to the South Portland defense. They aren't allowing Bangor out of their own territory.
Second down.
The officials there able to do what the Rams have not been able to do much of this game. Handle loss to South Portland, a 15-yard loss on the play. Nice moving to the near side, and now Pelkey will come in and hold up the runner.
Looked like somebody got away with a face mask here.
Yeah, it looked like he might have been turned around there by a face mask. Pelkey, though, was able to come in and make the clean hit on the tackle, and that was Sean Upton, the junior, coming around on the near side. He shakes it off, gets back up. See if we can see that on the replay. There's Upton.
It's going to be like a pinball here, Tommy. Well,
had him on
off the shoulder
pad.
no, it's a clean hit.
Clean hit by Jeff Garrett, which is not what the South Portland faithful thought. 3rd and 22 now for the Red Riots, just beyond midfield at the 49-yard line. 4:40 remaining in the half. Cook will try to go deep here on the left side. He's got the man open, but out of the reach of the intended receiver, Sexton.
That's South Portland's favorite pass play. They run that to precision. They put that probably in day one of preseason, and they run it over and over and over again, and they do a great job with it. Unfortunately, they come up short that time.
Yeah, we saw a little of that last week. Actually, last week they passed the ball more than a lot of people thought they were going to.
Oh, I think, again, we got them to the position that they had to throw. We shut down the running game pretty well. They went to the pass and were successful with that, and that's how they beat it. But I think they threw the ball 24 times against us.
And so the kick will come to Pelkey. He's got some room. He can do the job. He gets an opening, gets spun around, and then is taken down by the 30. Where's the ball? He fumbled it.
South Portland's got it, I think.
South Portland recovers.
Look at that.
So
Merry Christmas.
Pelkey saw the opening. He got spun around and tried to get his bearings back. Thought he was going to keep it going, and you got to have the football before you keep it going. It was stripped away by one of the Riots. We'll see it on the replay.
Mike, if you're Gabby Price here, what do you tell you guys? I mean, this is sloppy football here, not being able to hold on the ball.
Yeah, well, I think you just got to keep them up and confident, and tell them to keep working hard, and maybe success will come their way. But that's a big psychological disadvantage of Bangor. They just stopped South Portland, caused them to punt the ball, and now South Portland's got it back again.
Ben Beck, the junior, recovered the fumble. Now it's Lawson. Sweeping around to the right side. He's got some room. He bangs off a tackle, and he's taken down at about the 17-yard line. That defense has been out there a long time
They
now.
sure have. They definitely have. And, turnovers will certainly hurt you. But again, I think this is going back to the idea that the little bigger, stronger South Portland team is starting to control the line of scrimmage and establish the corners for Lawson to run the ball.
I'll tell you what, Timmy Lawson almost broke this one for 6. He was one hit away from going all the way. Nice shot there by Richie Day.
32 yards rushing for Lawson. Now he'll add to that here as he gets up and through the 15-yard line, taken down there. So after that first down pickup, it'll be second and about 7 yards. You know, we talk about the defense being out there a long time. Most of these kids do go both ways for these teams, but it's a different mentality when you're on defense. You're trying to dig in. It's much more psychological and emotional.
Oh, without a doubt it is. You know, offensively, it's all strategy, angles, and, you know, that type of thing. Defensively, it's just pure guts and determination, and you can only do that for so long before you need a break.
Haven't had much of a break here. South Portland has had the ball control, and this is why Lawson handing it to these Rams throughout the game. That time he's taken down at the 15-yard line. Kevin Dunn in on the tackle, and it'll be third and about 6 yards. So Wolfgram will send the play out with Cook, and we'll see what happens here on 3rd and 6. Less than 3 minutes remaining in the half. Lawson, the workhorse, has been just that. Riots looking for their first state championship in 3 years. 6-0 over Lawrence their last time out. Now it's Cook to throw over to the left side. The pass knocked away nicely.
Picked up.
Interception.
And then intercepted on the tip drill. The Rams come away with the ball. A big play there. See who that
I believe
is
it's Kevin
came
Dutton who
away.
got the interception. I think Pelkey had the tip.
Pelkey tipped it, and then I believe you're right, Dutton.
That's the old tip drill.
Breaking it up there on the tip drill was actually Waterman.
That's right. Yeah.
And then
Coming up with the ball.
the
Kevin
Rams
Dutton,
able to get it. Kevin Dutton.
You've got to give credit to this Bangor defense. I mean, they could have folded the tent right then and there, and now they can really turn this thing around. They still have time to get downfield. 2:25 to go before the half. But Bangor has had horrible field position the entire afternoon.
Well, unfortunately, some of the time they've given themselves horrible field position, and that's what they wanted to try to avoid here.
Now the handoff right back up the middle. Not much there, and it is Waterman back at quarterback again.
You got to get something here, Mike, because they got to kick off at the second half. And, you know, the way the defense has been out there so long, you'd like to get a score here or at least some kind of drive to take them into the half.
You're absolutely right. That's what they want to get a little success. Even if they don't put those points on the board, if they can start moving the ball and have the kids go in at halftime, you know, feeling better about themselves, that'll lead into the second half.
1:40 remaining in the half. Just 3 total yards offense in this half for the Bangor Rams. It is Waterman handing off, cutting through now and getting some room to pick up a little bit of ground for the Rams. That's number 23, Casey Cattell.
That was the best run all day, really, for the Bangor Rams.
Again, it was a misdirection run instead of the South Portland linebackers react extremely well, and once in a while you can catch them overreacting and come back against the grain and pop one.
They used Cattell more at the beginning of the season and now bring him back, although we correct ourselves. That's Pat Estee out there, who we haven't seen much of this season. Pat Estee, the running back, junior, getting in there, and obviously Gabby Price mixing things up a little bit. We've seen
They've used 2 or 3 tailbacks through the course of the season.
It is Waterman with less than a minute remaining now, hoping to get something going, but good defensive read by the Riots. They're able to stop him on 3rd and 2. And I think at this point, Gabby Price and the Rams probably just hoping to get out of this half.
Oh, I think they are. If they can get out of it without giving up another score. But I'll tell you, South Portland's dangerous in this situation because they can block the punt or get a punt return and get good field position and maybe get one play to try to get another score.
John Wolfgram will call a timeout here for South Portland with 32 seconds left and a 4th and short coming up. Obviously, the Rams will punt, I would imagine, and John Wolfgram thinking about trying to pick up a couple of quick points here before the end of the half.
We may see that wave that you were talking about earlier on the punt return here. South Portland, a team that really good special teams.
Oh, they definitely are.
And that, obviously that's key in a game of this magnitude. You got to have good special teams. But really, I think Bangor has to feel kind of fortunate to still be in this game. I mean, with the lack of offense they've had, you know, just being down 12-0 is really not that big of a hole.
Oh, no, not at all. They certainly can come back in the second half if they can establish some offense, make some adjustments at halftime, and see if they can start moving the football.
Pelkey is back to punt. He has been pressured by the Riots defense throughout the day. Ball will be snapped from the 13-yard line. He'll be right on the goal line.
Looks like South Portland's going for a block.
Pelkey sees it coming at the goal line. He gets the snap. A little bit to his right. He just does get it off. Fair catch called, and South Portland will hold on to it as scooting over there from left to right to make the catch was Ben Sexton. So, 26 seconds on the clock, ball on the 43-yard line. How much is John Wolfgram willing to open it up here to try to get him?
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what he does. If he's going to run the clock out and be happy going in 12-0, or if he's going to air it out, see if he can put another one in just before the half. I think you'll see him air it out because he has Sexton and French to our right, who are their best receivers. So I think you're going to see something coming down this sideline.
Cook looks over to the right before taking the snap. He will roll out to the right. He's got French and Sexton. He gets it to Sexton, who's hit inside the 30-yard line. Not taken out of bounds, but it'll be a first down. They will move the chains.
Looks like John's going for the jugular here with 19 ticks to go.
That would be real tough on Bangor to give up a score right now with 19 seconds left and go down by 18, 19 points.
14 yards, pass play.
This time it is French out to the right. Cook will look for French again. He does make the catch and does get out of bounds. So not much of a pickup, but a nice time management play there as they stop the clock with 13 seconds remaining.
13 seconds is a lot of ticks on the clock in this situation. There's no need to panic. You got a great possession receiver in Ben French. He's got great hands. He can catch the football and step out of bounds. And 13 seconds seemed like a long time.
Just inside the 25-yard line, 2nd and 6. You see Cook. He threw often against Portland last week, making sure there's no mistake here. He drills it low, so if there's a miss, it'll stay low. Now he rolls over to the left. He looks deep for Sexton. Sexton in the end zone. Touchdown, South Portland!
That one's going to hurt Bangor.
That one is sure to hurt.
Ben Sexton going to the left side, a 25-yard touchdown pass by Jason Cook, and it's 18-0 with just 6 seconds remaining in the half.
You talk about a tight spiral. Look at this throw from Jason Cook. He had to place it perfectly. Not bad coverage on the play, but look at where the ball landed, right in his mitts.
That was just a great pass, a great throw, and a catch.
So 18-0 is the score, and the Riots will try to get 2. They're 0 for 2 in their conversions. It's Lawson. He's met in the backfield and taken down, but a big motion, or a big emotional lift, rather, for the South Portland Red Riots as they get that 6 after the big interception earlier by the Bangor Rams, and now Dabby Price. The Rams are going to be a little bit down going into that locker room.
Oh, definitely. They're going to have to do, the coaching staff's going to have to do a great job to rally their, forces and come out. Maybe if they can change the outcome of this. But it's going to be a tough emotional situation in that locker room.
Well, I'll tell you what, last year's game, we thought for sure Waterville had it locked up, and back came the Biddeford Tigers in dramatic fashion. So really, it isn't over till it's over, but really, Bangor has really got to get it cranked up next half and get it cranked up soon.
One of the things we haven't been talking about a lot is the South Portland defense. And again, obviously, with the adage that Bangor has, they're giving their offense field position and they're doing a great job. And that's been their trademark all year, as I said before the game. And that's why they're number 1 in defense in the state.
Squib kick here, trying to keep the Rams from getting anything going, and it works as catching the ball on his knees was John Butterfield. So 4 seconds remaining, and I'm sure the Rams will just try to get out of this one. Down 18-0, although with Gabby Price.
Well, but I think right now Gabby just wants to, get out, regroup a little, and see if he can make some adjustments.
Do you think the quarterback change for that one series may have, and the time does wind down before play, but do you think maybe that kind of interfered with any offensive flow?
No, well, I don't know. I'd like to know why he made the change. Was it, going to a relief pitcher, trying to, get a change of things going, see if he can spark his team, or maybe it was Waterman banged up a little, and they had to make some adjustments, and they had to put Richie Day at quarterback for the series. We don't know what caused that.
We don't know. We'll find out afterwards. We do know that South Portland has a comfortable 18-0 lead heading to the locker room at halftime here in the Class A state championship game. We'll be back with our halftime features after this. You're watching the state championship on Fox 51 Sports. South Portland Red Riots looking for their first Class A state championship in 3 years. They are in command at the half here at Fitzpatrick Stadium. 18-0. the Riots leading the Rams. Touchdowns on the ground by Lawson and Fawcett in the air from Cook to Sexton, and that was the one that hurt. A 25-yard touchdown pass with just 6 seconds remaining in the half. Now, of course, the previous 2 state championships were won by the Biddeford Tigers last season. They had that dramatic come-from-behind victory in overtime to beat the Waterville Panthers. This year, Biddeford lost to South Portland in the West semifinals. Now, it has also been 2 years since Mike Landry was the leader of the Tiger Pack. Dave Eade got up close with the coaching legend.
Mike, it's good to see you again. The last time we talked was at the 50-yard line at Fitzpatrick Stadium. I think you remember that game against Waterville.
Yeah, I think I remember that one. That was kind of a fond memory, going out that year. I didn't know well, I kind of knew at the time that'd be my last football game, but that was a nice situation.
Mike, you've had so much success as a coach, 5 state championships. Have you had a chance to reflect back on all of the memories, and what were some of the more special ones?
One of my biggest accomplishments, I thought, was that the 1991 football season where we started off 1-2, we ended up winning it. And the things that we've done the best, you know, winning and losing, it's been a part of the football program, but I think what we've done best at Biddeford is that we've done things for other people. For instance, like after the state championship games, we usually gave the game ball to a disadvantaged child, like somebody with multiple sclerosis or cerebral palsy or something like that. And so other than just the game of football, we always tried to give back to the community, the kids, the people less fortunate.
I was talking to John Wolfgram the other day, and I said, John, I'm going to be talking to Mike Landry, you know, for a halftime piece. I said, give me one word to describe Mike Landry. And he said, dedication. Mm-hmm. Talk about that.
Yeah, well, it's a 7-day-a-week job, and it's a year-round job, you know, and I think if you're going to be successful year in, year out, at least from my perspective, a lot of, you know, people get it done differently. Bob Cody was a great coach at St. Louis, and he was more of a low-key type of person. My personality was that, you know, I was going to try to outwork people from day one till the end, whether it's from the first day of football season till it came around again, and try to prepare the kids that played to the best of their ability, and I felt that I needed to do that on a year-round basis. So I tried to do the best I could in the offseason. Obviously, after the first 3 or 4 years, I think you get used to what's going on. You don't have to put in as much time, but it's commitment, it's dedication. If you want to stay on top, if you want to win a championship every now and then you put in that time. If you want to do it every year, then I think it's a big commitment.
Your successor, Brian Curett, hasn't missed a beat. Already 1 state title to his credit.
The system's there, you know. Brian's the same way. He's a very committed, dedicated coach. He puts in a lot of time. And it says a lot for the system, you know, when somebody can leave and the system can stay in place. A lot of the parts are still there, rather than, and what they did, Warren Galway, the principal, and Don Wilson, and I talked, and we wanted to keep somebody within the program for the continuity rather than go out and get somebody else, and that's obviously paid off in the success of the program since I've left too. So it feels good to see the program where it is after you've gone.
You've been away from the game for exactly 2 years now. Are you starting to get that coaching itch again?
I think if the right situation came up, I certainly enjoy my free time. I've gone to a big-time football game. I went to Florida Auburn last year, something that I was able to do in the fall of the year. My daughter's a sophomore at Boston College. We've had seasons tickets, so I've gone to see some BC games with my wife and visit the daughter. And, you know, things that you don't normally do during the football season. I mean, I watched Sunday football, something I never did. You know, it was an eight occasion on Sunday. So free time has been good, but I think football's still in my blood, and I think if the right situation, whether it be college or who knows, even a high school job, but we'll see. You know, what's meant to be is meant to be, I guess. Yeah.
Mike, whatever you decide to do down the road, best of luck, and thank you very much for stopping by.
You're welcome.
Okay, great.
And the halftime show here on Fox 51 will continue following these messages. We are at
halftime here at Fitzpatrick Stadium, 18-0 in favor of the South Portland Red Riots over the Bangor Rams. And I'm joined by South Portland Athletic Director Tor Nielsen. Tor, thanks for coming by. Did you ever expect this in your wildest dreams first down?
It's incredible. They spent the first quarter feeling each other out, and South Portland was fortunate to break it open. Bangor turning over the ball a few times. South Portland took advantage of it. So right now with 3 touchdowns in their belt, still a long way to go.
I was just going to say 24 minutes to go. Anything can happen, but really you have to be pleased at the way they've been playing.
I'm real pleased. They were somewhat conservative, which is understandable, and again, they've broken it open, but again, still got a half to go.
We talked earlier in the week. It's been a long season for the football team, of course, culminating with the state final game. How have they been able to balance both the athletics and the academics?
Well, fortunately, we have some outstanding students on our team, and it showed in the grades just came out, and I'm sure a lot of kids are very pleased with their performance academically. Athletically, they've spent 2.5 to 3 months preparing for today, and in order to balance both athletics and academics, they've got to be very well organized. I think all kids that are involved with extracurricular activities need to develop those organizational skills. And you can ask any members of the band, football, soccer, swimming, it doesn't matter. They've got to really develop their organizational skills, and I think that's what participation in extracurricular activities is all about.
Obviously, that's a credit to not only the teachers, but the coaching staff as well. I know John Wolfram, a disciplinarian, he likes the kids to, books first and then the athletic.
Right, absolutely. They go out after school 2:30 in the afternoon. Sometimes don't get home until 6:30, and they are doing their homework. It is a tough balance, but they do it and do it very well.
All right, Tor, thanks for stopping by. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you very much, Dave.
Okay, once again, we're at halftime here at Fitzpatrick Stadium. The score, South Portland 18 and Bangor nothing. Right now, we'll send it back up to the booth with Tom Carrot and Mike Bailey.
Thank you very much, Dave. Nice job as always. 18-0. Tor Nielsen and the South Portland Red Riots certainly smiling here at the half at Fitzpatrick Stadium as we get a little bit more cloud cover over the South Portland band and the rest of the fans today in this state championship game. In the interests of fair play and the equal opportunity for both sides in both Eastern and Western Maine, we now want to hear from the other side. Earlier today, Dave spoke with Bangor Athletic Director Steve Van Ettestein.
I'm joined by longtime Bangor Athletic Director Steve Van Ettestein. Steve, thanks for stopping by, and what a year it's been for the Rams.
Tremendous year, Dave. Well, we're very happy to be here, and the kids have been leaders in the school. Gabby's done an outstanding job. It's been a while since we've been here, but I'll tell you something right now. The kids have made Bangor High proud for their efforts.
Besides paying the price on the field all year, these kids have been doing it off the field as well.
Our system has set some standards very high, Dave, and across the state for a large school, we're recognized as one of the best academic schools in the state, and obviously athletically, this is our 3rd state championship in a row in major sports. Gabby has a lot to do with that, but it starts with the school committee and the support of the general public. It's been tremendous in Bangor for years.
We were up in Bangor earlier in the week, and this is a group of nice kids, well-schooled kids. That has to start at the grammar and grade school level, the upbringing.
No question. I think, when we look at our program, I think the kids and the parents get involved early. By the time they get to the school, they're very aware of what our expectations are, and I think Gabby spoke well yesterday about expectations. You get what you expect, but our kids have been a tremendous asset to our community. They're good citizens. They're fair to the people that help them, and also around the school, they're just regular kids during the day, and then they go play after school.
Steve Van Ettestein, the athletic director at Bangor High. We'll send it back upstairs to Tom Carrot and Mike Bailey.
Thanks very much, David. Steve Van Ettestein, the athletic director of the Bangor Rams. Gabby Price, the head coach of the Bangor Rams. I bet he's got some words for the troops out there in the locker room right now, because it has certainly not gone the way the Ram faithful were hoping. 18-0 South Portland, leading at only 9 total yards in that first half for Bangor. And again, the big killer, the 25-yard touchdown pass from Cook to Sexton with 6 seconds remaining in that first half of play. And an interesting note, the quarterback situation there for Bangor. We saw Richie Day come in for a series, as Gabby Price may be hoping the veteran quarterback returning could fire up his offensive troops. Didn't happen, as Dave fumbled 2 of the 3 snaps he took, and the move actually ended up backfiring in the face of the Rams. It appears that that didn't work out because Waterman came back in to finish up, and they've yet to pick up a first down. So the South Portland defense really dominating here, and though it's 18-0, maybe it is the South Portland defense. That is the story of this first half so far. They are looking for their 6th shutout of the season. It is the stingiest defense in Maine high school football. 18-0 is the score here at the half at Fitzpatrick Stadium. Dave, Mike, and myself will be back right after this. There tomorrow, the NFL on Fox, with the Giants playing here in Fox 51. Not such a good one at the half so far here in the Class A state championship. It's been one-sided. You see the numbers there. South Portland dominating in all aspects of this game so far. The total yards say it all right there, 135-9. And you see the first downs, 5-0. The turnovers, 2-1. It's really been all South Portland. We'll talk about the offense in a second as we bring Dave Mead and Mike Bailey back on. But first, let's talk about the defense. It just really looks like the lines don't match up, and that Bangor just really can't open anything up against the South Portland line.
Right, I think that's what you saw in the second quarter, is that the stronger offensive and defensive line of South Portland starting to take control in pushing Bangor off the line of scrimmage, and I think that's where the South Portland success came from. And again, they do the right things. They don't make mistakes. John Wolfgram makes the right call, which is coaching staff, and that's what has led to the 18-0 halftime score.
Dave, field position is everything. Mike called it right at the beginning of the game, that John Wolfgram really trying to play a field position game, pin the Rams back and wait for things to happen, and they've really been able to control field position throughout this first half.
Oh, absolutely. And just getting back to the defense for a moment, you know, Bangor, a team, really they came out and played well the first couple series, and then it seemed like they got deflated after a while, and some of the starch got taken out of their play, especially up front. They weren't able to stop the run when in the beginning they were stopping the run. So this is going to be an interesting to see what Gabby Price tells his troops there. But the defense is going to be on the field again for Bangor to start the second half.
As we said, the field position, the numbers show that average starting yard line for South Portland was at Bangor's 39-yard line. Meantime, the Rams were averaging their start at their own 18 yards. When you're hemmed back inside the 20-yard line every time, and when your opponent is starting in your own territory, you're really up against it.
Sure, your coaching philosophy change is completely different in play calling. Bangor has to be a little conservative when they're starting on their own 18-yard line. You don't want to put the ball up in the air and run a razzle-dazzle play. When you're starting on, your opponent's 39-yard line, you've got a bag of tricks that you can go to, and if you try something, go back for one play, you're still in great shape, and that's what happened with South Portland in the first half.
Jason Cook, the quarterback for South Portland, he's been outstanding. We talked about the 25-yard touchdown with 6 seconds left that really made the hole that much deeper for Gabby Price and the Rams to get out of. But Cook, in that first half, really got the job done. 5 of 8. He threw for a touchdown, threw for 1 interception as well. 59 yards passing. Bangor yet to complete a pass. Mike, we talked about it again against your team last week. You forced them into a throwing situation, and they responded. This team can throw the ball if it needs to.
Oh, without a doubt. They're a total football team. They do want to, rely on defense to win. They do want to run the ball if they can. But if they can't, they have that capability to go to the pass and be very, very successful with that, as we saw last week against us, and as we have seen today for that last touchdown.
18-0 is the score, as again, at least through a half of this game, the West continues to dominate this state championship game. There's been a lot of theories thrown around about that, Mike. It's a bit more of a straight-ahead, up-the-middle game that's played in the Pine Tree Conference. They do tend to do a little more, a passing, more of a complete offense. Do you have a theory on why the Western teams have been so successful in the championship games?
Well, I think the biggest thing we see is different offenses and different defenses with our opponents. You look at a Biddeford, they play a pressure package. They're always coming at you. Your kids have to adjust to that. Massapequa is going to that. South Portland plays a traditional 52 defense, but they play it as good as anyone in the state. In the East, you have a tendency to see very base defenses, and the offenses are very, very similar. So you get used to seeing that. So when that keeps our kids on edge, throughout the course of the year, that they've always changed and they're always thinking, and you want to get better, but you always have to learn with that. And I think the competition week in and week out is a little stronger down here than up there. They have great programs up there, but it seems like, you play back to back to back down here, and you're always playing a tough opponent.
Of course, now early in the season, Eastern teams do play a couple of Western teams and vice versa. This regular season, the Rams were 1-1 against the West. An easy win to start out the season against Edward Little, 45-14, but then you had your way with them, 43-22, as they took on the Bulldogs. And one of the things that was talked about a couple of years back when the new playoff system went into effect in the West was that the Western teams might be a little beat up by the time they got to the state championship. You start your playoffs a week earlier than the Eastern teams do, but that certainly hasn't been the case so far.
No, not at all. I think what happens is, again, we do get beat up sometime during the year, but kids have to step up. As we saw last week with South Portland, they had a couple kids, suspended for discipline. Well, they had a few players, younger players, step up and get the job done. So there is a lot of quality depth on the South Portland team. We were, during the season, 3 games this year, we were missing 4 starters at one time. As far as I'm concerned, that's not an excuse. Someone's got to step up, get the job done.
You talk about depth, too, Mike. This South Portland team is also very young. They've only got a few seniors there, and some of their key players are juniors, Jason Cook and Tim Lawson. So this team could conceivably be back next year in this game. Of course, you might have something to say about that.
Well, I hope so. We've got a pretty good nucleus coming back, and obviously South Portland has a great program. Year in and year out, you're talking about South Portland in the Western Maine Championships, state championships, and again, that goes along with the idea of the tradition that they have in South Portland, and that's what we're trying to build at Portland. That hopefully we can be in those final games every single year, and hopefully we started it this year.
This South Portland team, by the way, as I get a plug in from my employer, ranked 6th in the latest Nesson High School Top 10 poll, and you knew we had to get them in before this was over. Bangor has had a great run of it. We talked earlier, they won the basketball state championship last year, the baseball state championship in the spring, so these guys certainly know what it's like to be successful, but South Portland just appears to be too much, at least through the half today. Now we have the second half toss.
I think the other thing we don't want to lose fact of is Gabby Price, and talking to him when we played him the second week of the season, he was putting all his emphasis that he feels he has a great sophomore class, and they're a team of the future. So I'm sure he's saying, this is a great opportunity for my program to get back into the picture, whether we win or lose. I'm sure he's going to be hurting today when he loses, but in retrospect, come December, January, February, he's going to say, hey, we got there. I've got my program back on track. I've got this great sophomore class that hopefully we can be back in that year in and year out like they used to be.
That was what Frank Knight had in mind 2 years ago with Waterville when he came here. Got shut out, and they came in and played last year, and of course the dramatic comeback by Biddeford. But exactly right. I think both teams are fairly young, and I think who knows what's going to happen next year.
Despite the outcome today, you've really got a franchise quarterback, if you will, in Waterman. He's already been tested in playoffs. He's gone to the state championship, win, lose, or draw. You've got to like the nucleus of this team.
Oh, without it, you can't lose sight of that. Like you said, that these are the best 2 teams in the state playing. They're playing today. No one else is playing in Class A. And it's a tribute to the Bangor staff to get their kids here, and it's obviously a tribute to the South Portland staff to get their kids here.
Bangor will kick off to start the second half, so at least it'll be deep in the South Portland end, barring a great run back. So I guess that's the silver lining in the cloud for Gabby Price, that he might finally be on the better side of the field position as we get a fresh 12 up on the scoreboard and we get ready for the second half of play. The kick, end over end, and we've got a penalty right away.
Yeah, it's an offsides by Bangor. Their left side of their kickoff team went over the 40-yard line before the kicker kicked the ball.
Yeah,
so it's going to be brought back.
Already
so it'll be brought back, and maybe that field position won't be quite as good. Really, the Bangor obviously looking for something to light a spark, something to fire up the crowd and the team early on, whether it's a big hit or just a nice play in the backfield. They've just got to do something before this one completely slips away.
That's for sure.
Yeah, they could use a turnover here.
35-yard line.
That doesn't happen very often. South Portland, they don't turn the ball off over very often at all.
So Andy Robichaud.
Kicking off for Bangor.
Is ready to kick for Bangor. He gets off another good one. It'll be to about the 25-yard line, and it's Lawson taking it. He's got some room, but he's met and brought down at the 35-yard line by Jerry Bradford.
Number 32, Jerry Bradford.
Good tackle by the senior Bradford. It looked like Lawson was starting to get ahead of steam there. And but a good wall of tackling there by Bangor. And there's a look at the referee, Dave Allen. Our linesman is Dave Brunel. The umpire, Alan Snell. Backfield, Jeff Gray. Our field judge is Ben Hill. And our side judge is Joe Gallant.
So South Portland with the ball and an 18-0 lead here in the second quarter. Handoff right up the middle by Lawson. He'll pick up a couple, maybe three, and he'll be taken down. I wouldn't expect to see John Wolfgram experiment very much at this point.
Not at all. He's going to be very happy to control the clock, move the chains, and have Tim Lawson and the running backs carry the football and not put Bangor back into the game. His whole thing is going to be, if Bangor's going to get back into it, they're going to have to work to get back into it. Don't give it up.
He's not going to want to beat himself, not here.
Lawson did pick up 3 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 7. All placed at the 39-yard line. Lawson again sweeping around right this time. He's met in the backfield, maybe a loss of 1. So maybe a defensive stand could be that little motivational spark that the Rams are looking for.
Yeah, the big thing Bangor has got to do right now is go 3 and out. Make South Portland punt the football and get some offense going. And that would be the biggest boost that they could get right now. So this is a real big down.
I think any kind of boost here would help them. But still plenty of time, 3 scores away.
3rd and 6, call it 7, ball at the 39-yard line, so no loss, but no gain on the play by Lawson. Quarterback Cook now will look left, then look right, and then keep the ball as he will look to get it to French. He throws it, French just out of the reach of actually the other receiver cutting over from the right side. That was Roediger coming from the right side. And maybe a little bit of a crisscross pattern there as they both came back in the middle, so plenty of defenders coming in on him.
I think Ben French was supposed to break to the sideline on that, and Roediger was supposed to run what we call a drag pattern across the field. That's what they hit last week against us 3 times, so I've seen it before. But that was like a punt, believe it or not, because if he had caught the, they had thrown an interception there, it's a punt. We give Bangor the ball, on the 30-yard line or so, and no harm done.
Spiraling kick is taken there by Pelkey. He calls for the fair catch off the punt by Blackwood. We will take a timeout. Bangor getting the ball when we return on Fox 51 Sports. 22, Pat Estee was the ball carrier on a first down play. He was met quickly and maybe picked up a yard.
Robert Kerstead with a big-time hit on that play for no gain.
He's one of the best sophomore linebackers we've seen in this league for a real long time, and for be a sophomore and start at South Portland is a great feat and a great tribute to him.
I'll tell you what, I think Bangor has to get Pelkey in the offense here with still, time left on the clock. He's the guy that can make things happen for this team.
Pelkey at the tight end position of the right side. The handoff up the middle. Morris bullies his way for maybe 2 yards, perhaps 3, and he's taken down.
Here's a name you really haven't heard all afternoon.
No, not at all. I think one of the things Gabby might want to do is to try to mix it up a little and throw the ball on first down instead of the run. Again, he's got pretty good field position right now, the best he's had all day. So if we're going to make something happen, it's got to be this drive.
3rd and 6. Drive started on the 34-yard line. They're at the 38 now. The Bangor Rams looking for their first down. Waterman tried to keep it. He's hit. He's fumbled. And the ball is taken. The Riots think they have it, as you'd expect, but no, the Rams able to cover it back up, but nonetheless, a loss there as they tried to roll Waterman out to the left, and South Portland read that one all the way.
I think they were trying to cross things up a little and run an option game. Maybe everyone was suspecting a pass, so he thought he maybe could trick them, but...
they got real lucky on this play here, Mike.
Drew Hughes reading it in, coming in, and that was the scramble. Now Pelkey takes a low snap, gets the kick away, and it's a good one. He'll get it back to about the 44-yard line. Ben French calls for the fair catch. And again, it'll be pretty good field position by the South Portland Riots.
We talked before the game about Gabby being kind of a riverboat gambler type of guy that, likes to mix things up. So far, it's been a real vanilla type offense.
Oh, without a doubt. Like you said, he hasn't got Mike Pelkey into the offense. I was expecting maybe a reverse to Pelkey on that because he's done it several times this year for big success.
1st and 10 for the Riots. The 44-yard line. The pitch comes back to Lawson. He gets up to the 45, and he got crunched there. First man through appears to be Casey Cattell.
I tell you got to give the Bangor defense some kind of credit here on a day in which really nothing has gone right for you know, for either the offense or defense. But the defense really hasn't folded the tent yet.
Oh, no. No one's going to fold the tent in the state championship game. It's 18 points, and, again, what we saw last year happen, you just never know.
Kevin Dunton was in on that tackle as well. It'll be 2nd and 9 on the pickup of 1 by Lawson. Again, Lawson from the tailback position. Again, men at the line of scrimmage by Bangor. So the Rams digging in pretty well defensively here.
They're doing a real nice job. The big thing with Tim Lawson is you've got to get him before he gets going. Because once he turns the corner or gets open, he's like a freight train that's gone, you know, loose, and he just keeps it better and better as he runs downfield and harder to tackle.
1,147 yards coming into the game, 15 yards in the first half for Lawson. There it is, quickly closing that hole up in on the tackle was number 76, Jeff Garrett. So it's a 3rd and 8 now for John Wolfgram's Red Riots. Ball at the 47-yard line. Cook back to pass, looking over to his left. Room there, going up to make the catch and being knocked out of bounds, number 85, Dan Rodiger.
Well, he's a guy that came up big last week, and he's coming up big again today. What a nice set of hands this kid has, Mike.
I was talking to Tony DeBias, the basketball coach, Southport. We're real good friends, and he tells me Rodiger's going to be his starting center, probably, or have at least a shot at that. So it obviously shows some of his leaping skills right there.
Boy, I'll
like
tell
he was
you.
taking one off the boards, right?
Soft hands and some decent speed for a big guy. A big target.
Big play there for the Riots. 25-yard line now for the 1st and 10. Handoff. Met at the line of scrimmage by the Rams as they shut the door.
Well, we talked, you know, in the beginning about South Portland being able to do different things. Obviously, Jason Cook throwing the ball when he has to very well today. They're running the ball, and we said Bangor had to get their ground game going. So far, they just haven't done that. And you can tell South Portland is just, now they're starting to milk the clock.
Sure. You know, South Portland again in a 3rd down situation, they got it done. They had to get it done, and they came up big again, and that's what they've done all season long.
Fawcett picked up 1 on the carry, 2nd and 9 from the 24-yard line. Now it's Lawson shaking up the first tackle, but he's met at the line of scrimmage. Lawson hasn't been able to do much here in the
I'd like to
second
know
half.
what his yardage is today. I don't know what it was, first half yardage was or whatever, but I think Bangor has done a pretty nice job of shutting him down. I know they had the fullback trap for a score, but the running game, I think Bangor has contained pretty well.
Since you asked, 39 yards in the game so far for Lawson, only 3 here in the second half. As long as you don't ask for like coffee or something tough, you know, but yardage we can
Yardage
get you.
you can get.
He's had a couple good runs, but for the most part, Bangor's been there to meet him at the line.
Just under 6 minutes, midway through this 3rd quarter of play. This time Cook will keep it. He rolls out left, trying to get that arm open to throw it. Instead, he will toss it out of bounds, and there's a flag on the play. Grounding, perhaps?
I think it's going to have to be intentional grounding, but number 81 was in the picture, certainly. I don't know if referee Dave Allen saw that or not, but it would be an interesting call if that's it.
Kind of a delayed call, too. The throw was made, he went down, and then slowly the flag came out.
Yeah.
Well, let's see if there's anybody in the neighborhood here. Jason Cook rolling out.
You might have had a clip. I don't know if we could play that back or not. Yeah, it was intentional grounding.
It is grounding against the quarterback, and again, from that angle, you didn't see many red jerseys coming your way, but just beyond that angle, coming this way was one of the Riots. Nonetheless, it'll be intentional grounding, and that'll push the Riots back a bit. A 5-yard penalty, loss of down, 4th down and 15. For the Riots, it appears they'll go for it.
Oh, I would think so.
This deep.
Yep, with an 18-point lead.
At the very least, you'll still have the Rams probably inside their own 30-yard line to start off.
Looks like he's going to punt the football.
There you go. That's that's why he's the coach.
Well, it's 4th and long, you know, so, again, if the punter can angle punt and so forth, then
Pin him down deep,
yeah,
sure.
pin him deep and make him drive 90 yards or so.
Punting from the 47 is Blackwood. It's a good one, right up the middle, a high spiraling one, and a good bounce for the Riots. It'll come to about a 17-yard line. I guess good in that it didn't go into the end zone, but nonetheless.
Picked up 13 yards, that's the difference.
Picked up 13 yards, and you pin him in. So, 5:39 the time remaining, and the Rams will get it again. 2 good stops by the Rams defense. Now it's time for Waterman and the offense to get it going.
Exactly. The defense is doing their job, you know, this half. You know, they're certainly containing Lawson and the running back in the pass game. Now the offense has got to do something if Bangor wants to get back into this game.
I'll tell you, the one statistic that really stood out at halftime, 0 yards passing for the Bangor Rams. That obviously has to change in the near future here with 5:39 to go here in the 3rd.
Ball will be at the 17-yard line. The hand out of the backfield. Banging up beyond the 20-yard line is Pat Estee.
Is this a case where Gabby just doesn't have the confidence in Tom Waterman to throw the ball? Because, you know, to run here, you know, with against the #1 defense in the state doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
No. Well, like I said, we don't have the, you know, the characteristics of Tom Waterman. I know when Richie Day was a quarterback early on in the season, Gabby threw very, very freely. But, you know, again, with the sophomore, maybe he wants to bring him along slowly and keep him playing within himself.
Now it is the throw, and it's blocked at the line of scrimmage. Banging his way through was Greg Morris.
Here's a crazy question. Do you think he's playing for next year?
No, not at all. You know, he's definitely playing for this year, but I think he's got to, you got to know what your quarterback can do, what his pluses are and what his minuses are, and no one knows that better than Gabby and his coaching staff. And we got to make sure the quarterback plays, like I said, his game and what he's capable of doing, and don't ask him to do any more than he is capable of doing.
Waterman coming into this game had only thrown 14 passes, completed 4 of them, and an average of 41 yards per completion. So he does connect when he has to at time. Now a pass completed there, but the knee down by the receiver, Jason St. Pierre. He had a little bit of room to operate, had he been able to stay up, but again, Waterman trying to keep that ball low in case it was incomplete. And so it'll be a pickup of 5 yards and a 4th and 2. Facing the Rams inside their own 30-yard line at the 26-yard line, and Pelkey is back to punt. 4:40, the time remaining here in the third quarter. Pelkey takes it, gets an end over end, not a lot on it, but he does get it up, taken there. The Rams will give it up now. We'll take a timeout. You're watching the state championship on Fox 51. Down play, Andrew Fawcett running into the line of scrimmage. A fumble on the play, and the Rams are signaling that they have it. No word yet from the officials, and now, yes, Bangor forcing a turnover on first down, and they will get the ball with their best field position of the day.
I think Josh Morse came up with the ball. I don't know how much, you know, digging and clawing was going on in that pile, but I think he was the one that came up with it.
I'll tell you, if ever they needed a spark, they get one right here. It looked like Lawson just, or Fawcett never had the ball.
Yeah, it looked like he just dropped it approaching the line of scrimmage, and no idea who they'll give it to. The big scrum formed around the ball, but all Gabby Price cares about is it's his ball. Now, Waterman to throw deep, looking for Pelkey out of his reach. First time we've seen Waterman air it out today, and as you said earlier, Mike, going with it on first down, trying to mix it up a bit.
I definitely think he's going to mix it up and open things up a little, maybe a few screen passes. Again, it's going to be tough to, you know, come back against a great South Portland defense, but you got to do some things and try to get back into the game.
And not only that, but you got to stretch the defense somehow. Let them know that, yeah, you have a passing game as well as a running game. Otherwise, you know, they'll play up the whole game.
It's interesting because I had mentioned in the first part of the game, Gabby in his first 3 plays used 3 different formations. The next series, he used, you know, a couple different formations, and he hasn't gone back to those. You know, so maybe he'll start going back to those as he wants to try to open things up.
Waterman 1 for 5 now, 5 yards passing. Man in motion is Pelkey. This time Waterman will keep it in. He's hit in the backfield. Did he drop the ball before he hit the ground? It is a fumble, and the Riots say they have it. The officials agree.
They tried to get a little creative with Mike Pelkey there, but the play took too long to develop, and Waterman just couldn't get the pitch to Pelkey.
Great job by the South Portland defense here, reading the play. The play included Pelkey coming into your screen now, but right away, Waterman taken down. Mike, I think that might have been a case of at the last second, the sophomore still thinking he could throw it off to Pelkey, even though he was being brought down.
I think so, too. You know, Drew Hughes did a great job coming through and, you know, getting Waterman behind the line of scrimmage.
Now Cook going to the right and going for the jugular against French. Picked off by Pelkey. Back at the 12-yard line. He'll scurry out to the left, and he's taken out. So Bangor staying alive here in the third quarter. The defense doing the job. Pelkey, nice read there.
I think John Wolfman was just trying to close the door there if you could do it on first down. And again, he had great field position, trying to maybe catch Bangor off guard a little after that turnover.
I'll tell you, I like what John's trying to do here, you know, and stretch it out a little bit. He had the right idea, just a bad throw by Jason Cook.
Ran it back about 8 yards. Pelkey did. The ball's at the 20-yard line. Waterman back to throw. Throws it over to the left side, just out of the reach of the intended receiver. Got some good air on that one, but St. Pierre was about a yard behind it.
Yard behind it. I'll tell you what, if that ball was just a little bit, underthrown, St. Pierre might have had 6 points. This is very close to being a touchdown here, Mike. As you can see, Waterman, nice spiral.
Streak pattern down the sideline. O'Neill's the defender.
We talked about Waterman being young and whether the confidence is an issue. He's not getting a lot of time in that pocket, and that pocket is collapsing around him quickly. This time, Waterman keeps it, gets a few yards there, and he's taken down. Really not much of an area for Waterman to set up to get those throws off. You see the line coming right in on him.
And again, that goes back to what I mentioned that it happened, and I think happened in the second quarter of the game, is that the South Portland offense and defensive line started wearing down the Bangor line, and I think we're seeing a little more of that as the game progresses because Waterman doesn't have a lot of time to throw.
I'll tell you what impresses me the most is the way South Portland can close the gap. They're so quick to the ball.
Ball at the 22.
3rd and 7 for the Rams. Ball at the 22-yard line. Waterman back to pass, throws it to the near side, caught, but not enough.
This is Bangor's passing set. It's called trips. They have 3 receivers out to one side. And, we saw this in the first drive of the game, and this is the first time we're seeing Bangor come back and try to open things up with this formation.
Casey Cattell made the catch. And again, it appears that most of these throws over to the right side are a little low. I don't know if that's by design to keep it away from the South Portland defenders, but even when they're being caught, the receivers are already down. Good kick here by Pelkey. He'll get it into South Portland territory. Fair catch at midfield. We'll take a break. 18-0 South Portland on Fox 51 Sports. See the tail end of it, run of the day by Lawson, a 50-yard touchdown run around the right side, broke through a couple of tacklers and just was off to the races. Tim Lawson has made it 24-0. South Portland in command, and we'll take another look at it as the play got started quickly during the break. There it is. He busts through on the right side. Good read as he cut back laterally, and just pure speed to burst around the sideline here. He's gone. Last chance there for Bangor. Richie Day tried to get him. He's been injured as it is, and you're not going to start Timmy Lawson in the open field like that.
Nope, not at all. Once he turns the corner, like I said, his shoulders are square, and he's going down the sideline. You're running behind trying to catch him. You aren't going to bring him down.
Yeah, they've contained him pretty well all day up until that big run, and that could be the knockout punch for South Portland.
Pitch out to Lawson.
Pitch out to Lawson. Fumble on it. Now he gets it back, and he's scurrying through the left side. Somehow he stays alive with it, but he's taken down. And again, the conversion fails. But the second touchdown of the game for Timmy Lawson. And that may be the nail in the coffin. We'll see how Bangor can respond to it. But such a nice job by the defense here in the second half of Bangor. Again, you're just out there too long. You can only react to what's going on in front of you over and over so long.
Oh, definitely. You know, the defense has done the job. Obviously, turnovers have hurt Bangor, and the lack of offense. But again, that lack of offense is a tribute to the South Portland defense. And again, Tim Lawson as a running back, he's a great one. You keep giving the ball, and eventually, he's going to bust one like that and put things away.
Lawson now at 89 yards, excuse me, Dave, 20 carries on the day with a couple of touchdowns. And like you said, Dave, we hadn't heard a lot from him in the second half. He only had 3 yards in this half coming into that, but as Mike said, once it gets a little daylight, all that changes.
I think it's the daylight, and I think, Mike was mentioning the Bangor defense is just flat out tired. And you can't be tired against a guy like Tim Lawson.
Squib kick here will bounce up into the arms. And a fumble on the play, and South Portland gets it back as it's popped out of the hands of John Butterfield. And, well, that's the case. I don't think Butterfield was expecting the ball. Never really tucked it away totally by the time he got going, and we'll see it again on the replay. But a big hit right in the breadbasket sent that ball flipping up and out of play.
Yeah, the Bangor Rams really turning the ball over today. Turnover is the name of the game. And I believe this is their 4th or 5th turnover of the afternoon.
Four
times.
Fumble.
That was a sophomore Kirsten, the linebacker, that put the hit on that. It was a nice job.
Now Lawson looking for room again. He cuts through to the right side, shakes off a tackler. He's got some room, taken down inside the 20. Tim Lawson is turning it on now.
I think the sleeping giant just awoke, and he's decided that he's going to take control of this game and put it away single-handedly.
Word got down to the sideline that Bailey was asking about his yardage. You know, he's got to turn it on at that point. Here it is. That really a single-handed move as he was able to shake off Pelkey and then pick up a few more yards before Richie Day able to get in on him.
The amazing thing, we have to see him again next year.
Like a miniature Earl Campbell.
Oh, yeah,
really tough to bring down.
All right, ball spotted at the 18-yard line. 1:25, the time remaining in the third quarter. Handoff over to the right side. Lawson again to pick up a couple of yards before he's taken down.
Big Gabby Price here. What do you do?
Helped out on the tackle by Jeff
Just going to stay positive, you know, with your team and try to get some success somewhere with that, because I think, you know, it's going to be certainly awful hard to get back into this, because South Portland's not going to do anything to help them get back in. And they haven't shown any offensive signs where they're going to, you know,
You know, this isn't that far off the average points against South Portland this year. They've given up only 7.5 points a game, and that's just amazing through an 11-game season. Now Lawson banging through a couple of tackles. He gets inside the 10-yard line. He'll have the first down for South Portland.
A lot of people don't realize last year South Portland was in the Western Maine Championship against Biddeford, and they had 7 of these starters returning from that game from last year. So this is a veteran club that got some nice playoff experience last year.
This kid just puts his head down and bowls ahead. He's a tough runner.
Replacing French.
And that's really where the fatigue factors into the defense. Finishing off the tackle is the toughest thing. You get a piece of them, but you really got to drive them back to stop them.
That's right.
Now Lawson will take it again. He cuts through the middle, spins away, barrels through. Did he get in? He's at the goal line. No signal yet from the officials. I believe he's down inside the 1.
Yeah, he's right at the doorstep, Tom.
Again, you saw they switched Tim Lawson to fullback on that. That's where they wanted to. They're going to put him in the position to get him a ball, and that's what they've done all game.
That's the end of the third quarter. 24-0 South Portland. Back after this on Fox 51 Sports. South Portland gives it to Lawson up the middle, and they have opened up a 30-0 lead. Barreling his way through the middle, South Portland is now fully in command with a 30-0 lead. Third touchdown of the game for Tim Lawson.
Tommy, unfortunately, you're used to those hockey games where the referees look up and see the light. That's not the case today.
We don't have the timeout light here for the commercial breaks, but that's the beauty of replay. Took all of 3 seconds here in the fourth quarter. Now the 2-point conversion. Lawson coming around to the right side. He'll get in to the 2-point conversion. First successful conversion attempt of the day, and that's just a little bit of icing on John Wolfgram's cake. 36 yards for Lawson in the first half, 93 yards, and Mike Landry is heading for the exit, so he's going to beat the traffic here.
The coach is throwing up balloons in the booth here. Tim
129, 130 yards now with that touchdown. Tim Lawson is really opened it up with 94 yards in the second half.
The big thing you could see on that touchdown was the South Portland offensive line just knocked the Bangor offensive line into the end zone, and Tim Lawson, obviously finished it up. But those 5 guys up front are certainly doing a great job for South Portland.
They're controlling the ball at the line of scrimmage, that's for sure. And Tim Lawson is just taking guys with him for the ride. 32-0.
The total yardage tells the story for Bangor. They have not gotten very much off the line of scrimmage, as the Rams have been stymied from the line on in. 30 total yards for Bangor. Now Bangor will get the ball. Scooting around to the right side and taken down there will be number 43, Scott Philbrick. And so that's really your story right there as your total yards. 130 yards for Lawson and 30 for the Bangor Rams.
Right. So, again, it goes back to the old adage of football. People who control the offense and defensive line of scrimmage are going to win the football games. You can, run all your trick plays or run this and that. Those are the people that win the game. The workhorses that are in the trenches.
Bangor first and 10 from their own.
Bangor is trying to get some offense going. Now Waterman's got a little room. He'll get this pass off along to the right side. Pelkey pulls it in. He's got some room, and he's dancing down the right side. touchdown, Bangor. They will get on the board with a 63-yard touchdown pass to Pelkey.
Now you ask yourself, where was that play in the first half?
I was asking that. That's absolutely right.
This is a beautiful play here.
Yeah, they're in a desperation situation. They're trying to look for any success anyway, and he throws the ball. It's a beautiful throw.
And we mentioned Pelkey. You know, he's their big play guy, and they finally get him the ball, and look what happens. Unfortunately, probably too little too late.
Well, they tripled their total yardage on the game with that play. And again, we really didn't see the penetration from the South Portland line that time. Maybe a little tougher to get totally motivated with a 32-0 lead to come banging through the line. Now, Waterman will keep it cut back up the middle. The two-point conversion is good. So a little something for Bangor fans to cheer about early in the third or the fourth quarter.
It takes the sting out a little bit. 32-8 with still some time left, 11:25. But at least, you know, it's an emotional lift for the offense anyway, that, hey, we can score against the state's best defense.
Oh, without a doubt. You know, and that's what, you know, unfortunately, again, it didn't happen early on, and he was off those first two pads. They ran those plays the last time they had it, but he wasn't on target with them, and he was that time. And went to Pelkey, which you had mentioned that he had to get involved in the offense, and he did that time with some success.
And we'll go back to the first quarter here. Again, we don't know what's happening on the sidelines, player injuries or whatever, but that brief appearance by Richie Day at quarterback, you wonder if that was a motivational attempt by Gabby Price, maybe get the senior coming back. The crowd, you know, rallies around him. Instead, he fumbles 2 out of 3, and maybe that backfires. Maybe that really sets back the motivation of this team.
It could have, possibly. Again, I don't know what to think.
Right,
we can speculate, but...
if Waterman was hurt, then obviously if Day decided that, you know, after taking a couple of plays on defense, that he'd be able to go, maybe that was the plan all along. But now we really see Waterman able to get a throw off. He can throw the long ball. As we said, he's actually averaged 41 yards per completion. That just went up a little bit with the 63-yard touchdown. 32-8 is the score here.
South Portland was expecting an onside kick, and they were up close, and now they've backed off some with that.
And Tommy Waterman has to feel good after that throw, you know, regardless of the outcome, because he's only a sophomore, as was mentioned.
Robichaux gets a good kickoff and a fumble back inside the 10-yard line. Lawson gets it back now, and he'll make up for that and then some, barreling his way to the 23. Let's take a timeout. 32-8 South Portland on Fox 51 Sports. First down play, Lawson met at the line of scrimmage. He may have lost a yard or two before it was over as Wright got in on the tackle. Bangor reading it well, and despite the numbers, I'll give credit to the Bangor defense. Certainly in the second half, they have hung in there, and you figure the amount of time they have logged in this game, they have played admirably.
Yeah, they certainly have.
Now the handoff to Lawson. He wheels around to the right side, driven out of bounds there by Cattell on the near side. In on that tackle as well was number 16 in there, Keith Dorr.
I'll tell you what, Casey Cattell's played a really good game for the Bangor Rams defensively. He's been around the ball, and when you can take down a guy like Tim Lawson, you know you're doing the job. Here's another look at it. Lawson looking for the hole, and there's Cattell really with a nice solo tackle.
Yeah, did a great job.
That was the 26th carry of the game for Lawson. And, you know, for the most part, Bangor has been able to stop him. It's been a couple of big breaks, and as you said earlier, Mike, once he gets it, once he gets the room, he's gone. And right there, I believe a false start by the South Portland line. Yep.
Left tackle, I believe.
Tommy, I want to mention something real quick here while we got the time. Tonight at 5:15 at the Biddeford Ice Arena, there's going to be a benefit for injured hockey star Travis Roy. They're going to have an open skate from 5:15 to 6:15. It's $5 to get in the skate, $20 for a family. Of course, all the proceeds go to benefit Travis. So if right after the game, go grab the skates and get down to the Biddeford Ice Arena.
Just been amazing to see the New England, not just hockey, but sports community rally around the Yarmouth kid who had that tragic accident his first shift with the BU Terriers. Right here, a play up the middle is stopped quickly, so South Portland will be able to punt. They had a radiothon about a week back down in Boston, raised over $500,000. Wow. People calling to donate their time and energy to help convert the Roy's household to make it accessible to him. Somebody actually donated their house down near Boston for his parents to live in for the next year or so while he's in the hospital. Just It really sends shivers down your spine to see people rally around.
It really does.
Right here, it'll be a punt from South Portland, and it's a good one. Back to take it is Pelkey. Pelkey makes a nice cut from the 43. Individual effort picks up about 10 yards, so Bangor is getting a little bit going here in the fourth quarter. 9:44 is the time remaining. And Pelkey, as we said, is a guy who can get it done. He's been the star offensively so far for the Rams.
I think that might have been South Portland's second punt only. The one was a corner kick where they tried to kick it out of bounds, so that was the only opportunity Pelkey's really had to do anything with the punt return. And that's one of the things he does very, very well is return kicks, return punts.
47-yard line of the South Portland Riots. That is where the Rams will take over. Waterman back, and he's hit in the backfield at the 45-yard line. And again, there it is, just the size and strength of the South Portland line. Too much for the Rams.
Dan Roediger and Drew Hughes in on the hit. And, of course, South Portland knows Bangor has to throw the football now, so they're just sitting back, and they're going to be teeing off on Tommy Waterman right here. Really, he didn't have any time to throw the ball. Roediger with a nice move on the inside to get to the quarterback.
And, we haven't called Drew Hughes' name a lot today, but his presence is no doubt felt at all times by the opposing quarterback.
You're absolutely right. He does a great job. They don't stun him very often, but when they do, he's usually very, very effective with it.
Right there again in the backfield, a hit there, and for a sophomore quarterback to see the size and bulk of Hughes and some of these defensive linemen right there, you saw 6'2", 230 Greg Morse coming in. That's awfully tough for a young kid to handle.
You can definitely see the size advantage when you look down on the field. The South Portland kids, maybe not real tall, but they're certainly built very, very well, and the results of the weights in the off season, and I think that again has taken its toll.
3rd and 20, and the officials will call a timeout here.
I'll tell you what, this is our 3rd year doing the game here on Fox, and that's the best the field has ever looked out there. Before the game, we were out there, Tommy and I tell you, it looks beautiful.
Yeah, Rick Anderson and his crew for Portland Recreation Department does a great job, and he takes a lot of pride in it.
Here's the throw down there, picked off by South Portland's Jim O'Neill, and the Riots will get it back. Let's take a break here. 32-8, South Portland in command in the state championship game. A sea of white. Meeting Lawson at the line on a first down carry, so it'll be 2nd and 10 for the Red Riots. They are firmly in control of this state championship game, 32-8. Mike Bailey, at what point does Gabby Price kind of start trying to diffuse things on the sidelines? Do you play this one? I mean, are you coaching to win to the end?
I think so. Maybe a little, later. I wouldn't do it yet, but maybe you might want to get some of the younger kids in, or maybe some of the seniors that aren't starting. Obviously, with 79 people on the sideline, there's going to be a few seniors there that aren't starting, so you might want to work them into the game so they have a good opportunity to at least experience a state championship.
Lawson breaks it open, moving around to the left side. Couple of Rams back. He'll try to cut back in, but he slipped and went down. A nice carry by Lawson, who gets out to the 47-yard line to pick up about 21 yards.
He's starting to rack up the yardage now. Tim Lawson turning the corner. Besides bowling people over, he can turn the corner, as we can see right here, and really he just slips on the turf. 158 yards now on the ground for Timmy Lawson.
He is definitely deceivingly fast. We found that out in the first game when we played against them and lost 41-0. And we tackled him up high, and we found we can't do that either, and we made some adjustments in the playoff to contain him.
Scariest word on that graphic from Mike Bailey was junior. Handoff up the middle here, and taken down quickly at the line. He's a workhorse. He'll carry it 35 times a game, and you can build your offense around.
Oh, you certainly can. You got Cook back next year, and their JV program was undefeated. So John Wolfram certainly has a good nucleus coming back, as we said, be a contender again.
I'll tell you what, I'm not sure what the record is for rushing in a Class A state final, but he's got to be close.
He's done a great job today.
See the state championship ball being brought down the sidelines behind the South Portland bench. South Portland with the ball on 2nd and 7. The pitch back to Lawson. He cuts it through on the right side, dragged down from behind as Kevin Dunton was just happy to grab a piece of that jersey.
you know, Tim Lawson does a great job, but he also gets the blocking downfield. Rodiger, the tight end, number 85, was just, you know, really killing himself and, you know, to make sure he had a lead blocker to, you know, pick up that extra yardage. And that's a tribute to the, you know, the philosophy of the offense.
Yeah, this is a really, really nice block there. You're right, the holes are opening up, but
yeah.
And this guy doesn't need much either.
Under 6 minutes remaining, 5:45 now in the fourth quarter. It's been all South Portland. And now the pitch back to Lawson. And he wakes it around the right side. He's got some room, but he's just tripped up and knocked out of bounds by number 34, Kevin Dutton, who again was the difference between 6 points and sending him out of bounds as Dutton left all alone back there. You'll see Lawson read the hole well, cut in, and then head for the sidelines. Dutton just able to get a piece of his ankle.
Tell you what, it's just a matter of time before Lawson finds the end zone again. He is just really almost untouchable at this point.
3 touchdowns on the day for Lawson.
The big plus also is Tim Lawson gets to go to the sideline when the South Portland defense goes on the field. A lot of high school teams like us with Joey DeAndrea, because of our lack of numbers for skill kids, you know, Joey has to play both sides of the ball, and Tim gets an opportunity to rest a little.
Now the handoff is to the first man through. That's Fawcett. He didn't get much off that. Play started from the 27-yard line. So the West will continue to be best here in Class A football. 5:20 the time remaining in this fourth quarter. But as you say, Mike, really a great tribute to Gabby Price and the Rams this season. They weren't expected to be here. A lot of people figured Gardner would get through. I don't know what the announcement was.
I think it's the police officers walking onto the field for crowd control.
Here comes the play over to the right side.
That must be an awful feeling.
Let's take it down.
A no-win situation.
Well, you must know that, being booed by the South Portland fans.
Yeah. I went out to argue a call last week, and actually I had the right call, and the officials missed it, unfortunately. And again, obviously you get booed, but that's okay. I guess you learn to accept that.
But again, we were saying Gardner really considered the heavy favorite coming out of the East. They were knocked off by Oxford Hills. Bangor, a young team. You know, as you say, a couple of months from now, they're going to look back and just be happy about the learning experience of getting here.
Oh, I think so, without a doubt. You know, and again, it's the idea of your program year in and year out. It doesn't want to be a one game. Gabby wants to get back here again like he used to when he had his first coaching tenure, and this is the stepping stone to that.
Talk a little bit about that. Really, you know, the rebirth of Bangor football, if you will. They actually went through that period of being in Class B and now really seem to have the tradition back.
Yeah, well, actually, they even went out and went after Gabby. They asked him to come back and coach. He was running a couple stores, small corner stores in Bangor, and they actually, like I said, went out and got him and asked him to come back, and he did come back, and he brought the program back in the state title game.
But it will be John Wolfgram and the Riots on this Saturday. 3:40 the time remaining. Lawson trying to get around to the right side, taken down. There was a 4th and 8 play. So Bangor will get it back.
And talking with Gabby earlier in the week, Mike, he seemed really almost like reborn, you know, to be back in the state final. He was just bubbly, you know, he was the old Gabby, and he's excited to be down here, and I'm sure he's not excited about the score, but like we said, a young team, they could easily be back next year in the big show.
I'll tell you, you know, Gabby Price is Mr. Positive. You know, I was just watching him when one of his plays just came off the field. He was patting him, giving him a high five, and I'm sure he's telling him to keep his head up, and he'll find some positive out of this.
Waterman got a quick pass off the left flank for St. Pierre. You know, Bangor is still without a first down in this game because of, you know, they had the one touchdown, which was the 63-yard bomb. So just a tremendous job by the South Portland defense. That was one of the best plays from scrimmage by Bangor all day on the second and 2 we are now after the 8-yard pickup. Under 3 minutes remaining. Waterman gets the pass off tipped, and it will be incomplete.
But incomplete.
I think, you know, the South Portland defense, again, it starts in the middle with their nose guard, Rich Rio. He does a great job. He protects those 2 linebackers so they can flow. And the 2 tackles, you know, do a nice job. And their defensive ends do a great job of stringing things out and waiting for the secondary to support to come up and make the tackle.
Time started again. Not yet. Off the incomplete pass, we wait for the snap, of course. Waterman The long call now gets it in, pitches it back. Cutting around to the right side. Estes trying to get something going. He's taken down over there on the right side. And Pat Estes.
That was Drew Hughes that made the tackle. And again, from the middle linebacker spot, and that's what you want ideally your linebackers to do, is to cover sideline to sideline. And and he does it as best as anyone in the state.
First down for the Bangor Rams, their first of the day. A couple of the South Portland fans looking up and giving us the number 1. I think that had 2 meanings there. They're number 1, and that was number 1 for first downs. Waterman now throwing out to the right side. Another first down here as Pelkey will be knocked out of bounds. So really a confidence builder here at the end of the game. Kid's only a sophomore. He will be back, and you just wanted to let him get some passes off here in this kind of a situation.
Exactly, and that's what Gabby's trying to do, is get a little confidence, and you might see that pay off a year or 2 years from now when he's back here again possibly.
Not many sophomores take you to the championship game, and he was the starting quarterback for the 2 playoff games they won.
The other plus that South Portland has, all these seniors were freshmen when South Portland won their last state championship, so they know what that feels like. They were in the program even though they were young.
Waterman again getting off a complete pass, and it'll be taken down there at about the 43-yard line, 42 we'll call it. Right in on the tackle.
The Bangor players have heard of the pass tradition, being in all the states, but they haven't lived it. The South Portland players have lived it, and they know what that feels like to be in the state finals and win the state finals.
If you're wondering where the dulcet tones of Dave Eade have gone, he's been dispatched to the sidelines. He'll be down there for some post-game interviews after this one. Under 2 minutes remaining, Waterman, all kinds of trouble in the backfield. He's taken down, and that'll be a loss. Getting the sack, I believe, will be Drew Hughes.
I think so. Rodiger, the defensive end, number 85, actually did the job. They run a little what they call a tech stunt in football, where they twist the tackle and defensive end, and South Portland loves to run it in this situation, and it's very, very effective.
3rd and 4. Bangor now. Waterman ready to take the snap. He'll try to pass. Pressure in on him. He gets it to Pelkey. Pelkey dancing on the right sidelines, and I believe he was taken out of bounds over there. But a nice pass, a first down. He'll be inside the 20. Call it the 18.
Right now, the South Portland, they're going to complete the ball, let them complete it in front of them, not give up the touchdown, and that's what they're playing right now with that. And South Portland putting the big pass rush on with their front 5 and getting big drops from their secondary, and you're going to complete passes, underneath that.
Pass there to the right side. Pelkey coming in perfectly in time. He tried to get out of bounds but couldn't. Now Waterman is back, way back with pressure coming in. The pass, they don't make a motion. I believe it was caught.
Yeah, I believe it was a forward pass because Waterman was going back. I think it was going to be kind of like a screenplay, but Drew Hughes was putting a lot of pressure on Waterman on that play. It showed nice sportsmanship that he picked him up off the ground after that.
Pass was caught, a loss of 7 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd and 17 here as Waterman goes to the air once again, tipping it away nicely back there is Jim O'Neill.
Yeah, that was a nice job defensively. Well, I'll tell you, the South Portland defensive ends right now are putting a real tremendous pass rush on. Ryan and Rodiger are just doing a great job.
Final seconds of play here in the 4th quarter, 36 seconds to be exact. 3rd and 17, the ball is 25 for the Rams. 32-8. South Portland dominating in this state championship game. The pass over to the right side, caught by Pelkey. He's knocked out of bounds. They picked up probably about half of the difference. They'll be 4th and about 5.
Right now what they're trying to do is to close that margin a little, so in the off season it doesn't hurt as much right now. Obviously the game's over, but like I said, Gabby's trying to say, well, we did something at the end. Again, looking for that small success that he can lead into next year, using the weight program and say, if we get this done, we'll close the margin down and maybe we can get back there again. And that's what the success he's looking for right now.
By next summer, it's a lot easier to tell folks you lost 32-16 than 32-0.
That's right.
Sophomore quarterback Waterman throwing quickly out to the flat on the right side. A first down on the 4th and 4 play. Ball taken at the 5-yard line.
Pass was complete.
We've got the Gatorade on the sidelines, and
Coach Wolfgram's still showing his quickness there.
Able to get out of there. There's the catch. on the first down. I don't know if we can get a shot of the sideline at all, but they just got John Wolfgram with the Gatorade. And the big celebration going on the sideline for South Portland as they chased them all over with the Gatorade. And might be cold outside. I don't think John Wolfgram minds being wet.
Well, I think Bangor's called the timeout. Again, it goes back to
Once again, that's
the idea that Bangor's looking for a little success. Gabby's going in and saying, let's put it in and get the score and feel good about ourselves.
With the timeout, we'll take a timeout. Final minute of play. It's 32-8 South Portland here on Fox 51 Sports. First down play. Pelkey ran around left side. There was a flag after the play. I think we had a little bit of extra stuff going on after Pelkey was tackled. We'll take a look at the run by Pelkey as he swept around the left side. South Portland doing a good job reading the play. It was a pickup of about 3 for Pelkey. And it's a personal foul against Bangor. A little bit of frustration spilling over at the end. I think Pelkey, I got the kick right there. You saw it at the end of the play on the other side of the foot was Ben Sexton. And a little frustration at the end of the game. They're trying to punch one in just for a little bit of pride.
Sure they are, and again, that's what Pelkey's feeling right now is the frustration that he's been contained most of the game, and he has been their go-to player. He's a senior. He's got to be hurting right now a little to finish in this back.
So they'll mark that off, and that'll probably end the hopes of getting one in at the end. They probably try to air it out a couple of times here. It'll be second and 22. Ball comes back to the 22-yard line, so it's actually second and goal from the 22 with 15 seconds remaining in the 1995 high school football season. Waterman, the sophomore, be back next season. Throws one up, a nice spiral, but just out of the reach of the intended receiver, number 19, Matt O'Connell.
Pass is intended for number 19, Matt O'Connell.
Well, David is down on the sideline. We will join him as soon as regulation has expired. I hope he didn't get wet down there.
Actually, the South Portland crowd isn't celebrating as much as I thought they would be. I thought you would be getting a lot of cheers right now, but they've been here, so they're kind of used to it, I guess. Maybe that's it.
Final play, perhaps. 10 seconds left. And coming right through is the South Portland defense. Waterman will throw up the final play. It's incomplete. There were still 2 seconds remaining, and some of the fans getting a little overzealous here.
That was the opportunity to score a touchdown. Obviously, Waterman did a great job of, eluding the tackles. Drew Hughes was right again on him very, very quickly, and he did have a receiver open in the corner of the end zone, came up a little short.
Perhaps one of the greatest cuts of the day by the South Portland fans. They got out to the 10-yard line and instantly saw there was 2 seconds left. They headed back. And now, safe to bet they'll be back out in 2 seconds. Here's that pass. Nice job by the young Waterman. Flushed out of the pocket. He was able to get that throw off with some pretty good velocity, planting that right foot and getting the throw up in the air just short of the intended receiver. And this will be the final play of the game. Feel safe in saying.
I would think so.
32-8. South Portland, ball on the 22-yard line. It'll be a handoff and a reverse, and now a pitch back to the quarterback. Gabby saving that one for the end. Waterman has it, trying to run it in himself. He'll scamper until he's knocked out of bounds. There it is, South Portland, the 1995 Class A state champion. The Western Maine Conference continuing its domination in Class A football, and chalk this one up to a number of things for John Wolfgram and the team. But let's talk about the defense, Mike. Just a tremendous job in that first half, shutting down, especially in the second quarter, the Bangor Rams.
Sure, and again, that's been what they've done all year long. I think they've had 5 shutouts this year. Like you said, 7 points a game, and that's what got them here, and that's what had them get the scoreboard of 32-8. And again, it's a team effort. You can't say one linebacker or one defensive tackle or the secondary. All 11 players in the South Portland defense do a superb job, and that's what made them victorious today.
Let's throw it down to the field. David standing by with a very happy man.
Well, that's it. We're here at the final. You win it, John, in convincing fashion. How does it feel?
Feels great. It feels great. It's been a long time coming, Dave, and the kids just played super on defense, and Tim Lawson carried the ball very well. Cookie threw the ball when he had to. It was a great football game. We played real well. Bangor's a good football team.
What a way to cap off the season. 12-0, you get the gold ball, and again, you did it on both sides of the ball. Defensively, #1 overall in the state. Offensively, you like to grind it out, and you did that today with Timmy Lawson.
We did. Timmy's a great back, and he played both fullback and tailback for us, and he did a super job. He's a tough back to bring down, and we've just got a great group of kids, and every week they got a little bit better, and I don't know. It just doesn't get any better, Dave.
Is this one any sweeter than the one in '92?
They're all sweet. They're all sweet. Just different group of kids and different experience, and you know, like I said, it's just doesn't get any better.
How was that ice bath you had just a few minutes ago?
I don't know. I don't know. I was mad at that, but I'm going to be soaking wet for about an hour now. But it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling.
Coach, congratulations on a super
Dave.
season.
Thank you.
And on
Thank
the
you.
gold ball.
Thank
All
you.
right. Well, that's the final here. The final once again, 32-8 in favor of South Portland. We're going to send it back upstairs to Tom and hopefully come back down the field for more post-game interviews. Tom?
Thanks very much, Dave. Mike Bailey, Tom Karen with you back up here in the press box. 32-8, the final score, South Portland. We just paid tribute to the South Portland defense. Let's talk about a certain number 33 from the backfield. Tim Lawson, 183 yards, 3 touchdowns, plus a 2-point conversion. You know, in the first half, seems like they were shutting him down pretty well. In fact, I'd say late in the third quarter, he only had about 39 yards. The 50-yard was really the one that broke everything open, and from there, he started finding his holes.
Well, the thing with Tim Lawson, he seems to get stronger as the game goes on, and as people wear down, he picks up, and again, being the workhorse the way he is, he likes the situation of getting the ball. 34 carries to him is unfortunately average. And again, that's what you want to stay away from defensively in Bangor, is that he doesn't have the opportunity to carry the ball 34 times.
Standing by with Tim Lawson is Dave Eade.
Stadium 32-8, the final. Timmy Lawson, your team has won the gold ball. Yourself, what an afternoon on the ground. Over 160 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. Talk about that.
The line did a great job. That we knew after a while we'd start breaking them, and that's what we did. We just stuck with it.
How's it feel? You're a junior and you won the state championship.
Feels great. Now we got something to come back, strive for next year.
You guys really controlled this game on both sides of the ball. Talk about the defense. They had just an outstanding game. They really didn't let Bangor do anything.
Yeah, I don't think they got a first down in the first half, and that's just, they're not scoring any points. It's all we got to do is just put one touchdown on the board, and it just kept going.
You got one more year left. What do you say, back to back?
Hopefully, we'll see.
All right, Tim. Go join your teammates there. Congratulations again.
Thanks.
All right, Tim Lawson, what a big day for him. As I mentioned, over 160 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns, 32-8. The final. South Portland wins it. We'll send it back to the booth. Tom Karen and Mike Bailey.
There it is, the holy grail of high school football in Maine. Tim Lawson down there with Dave Eade. Any chance you get his family to move over to Portland?
I don't think so. I think they're pretty well entrenched right now in South Portland.
The numbers tell the story. The final score, of course, 32-8, 326 to 152, the yardage difference, and really a lot of those yards for Bangor coming when the game was decided in the fourth quarter.
Right, without a doubt. South Portland, again, it was just a great team effort. And again, it's really, really hard to single out any one individual. Cook did the job when he had to. Roediger did the job, and the offensive and defensive line did the job all afternoon, and it's a great program effort.
You see the stats, 5 turnovers for the Bangor Rams, only 5 first downs, all 5 of those coming in the fourth quarter, again after things were taken care of, a couple of sacks by South Portland, and obviously the 233 yards rushing were a big difference, 123 of those coming, or rather 183 of those coming from Timmy Lawson. Waterman, in the meantime, got it going at the end, and I guess we'll talk quickly about Bangor. This is a good nucleus. As long as this isn't too much of a discouraging trip for them, they should be an Eastern power here for the next year or two.
Yeah, well, I think so. And again, I was watching Gabby Price at the end of the game. He got his troops together, got them in a huddle. I could tell he was being positive. So some of the kids were clapping, and they're going to stay together. And they are young in some key positions, and they're going to go back and going to learn from this, and they're going to be real hungry to try to get back here next year.
32-8, the final score. The Western domination in the state championship game continues, and the celebration is on for the Red Riots here at Fitzpatrick Stadium. The hardware being given out now, as it were. The championship trophy standing by. First, Bangor will get the award for the runner-up, and it is, again, really the reemergence of Bangor as an Eastern power. It's the first Pine Tree Conference victory for the Rams. First time they win the East since the realignment put them on the eastern side of things. And certainly, although this score today wouldn't show it, it does appear that the difference is getting closer. Maybe some of the interconference play early in the season is letting some teams see some things, but it seems with Waterville's effort last year and really a good effort by a young team here today, that Eastern football is certainly approaching a little bit more of an on-par status with Western.
Oh, I definitely think so. And again, I think like you mentioned earlier, that we're playing in the different conferences and getting exposed to one another, learning about one another, and half of it is in high school sports is believing you can get it done, and that psychological advantage that we have in the West is an advantage. You know, that our kids go in and they don't want to be the first team from the West to lose to the East, and you know, that is a factor.
That's what it's all about. The gold ball being hoisted by the South Portland Red Riots. John Wolfgram and the Riots win their second Class A championship in 4 years, and they do it in convincing fashion. Last time out it was a 6-0 win over Lawrence when they played it up at Bowdoin College. Today a 32-8 victory here at Fitzpatrick Stadium. And David back with us once again. You know, John Wolfgram a little bit wet down there, but I think it was all worth it for him.
Oh yeah, he didn't seem to mind it at all. Although you know, an ice bath in this kind of weather is kind of cold. But John Wolfgram, really a storybook year for the South Portland Red Riots. They go undefeated, 12-all. They get the gold ball, and really, as we talked on the field with Timmy Lawson, they really controlled both sides of the ball today, and obviously that was the big difference.
Oh, without a doubt it was, and you know, and they've done that all year long. That has been their trademark, and that was the fashion they won, like I said, all year, and they did it today, and they should be real proud.
Long trip up 95 for the Bangor Rams, a short trip for the South Portland Red Riots across the bridge. They have taken the state championship today. Tim Lawson, obviously the key to the victory. A lot of yardage for Lawson today. He has the 3 touchdowns, 183 yards, and a 32-8 victory for the South Portland Red Riots. Mike Bailey, thanks for joining us in the booth today.
Thank you.
Hopefully, for you anyway, hopefully next year you'll be down there, and Dave will be talking to you after the game.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, Mike Bailey. Dave, once again, a great job and an exciting finish to the season. Certainly for the South Portland Red Riots to finish off with a perfect 12-0 record.
TC, always a pleasure to have you in the booth.
Tonight we catch a Pirates game. Something different. Saturday night at the Civic Center. Final score here at Fitzpatrick, 32-8. South Portland, your state champion. For everyone here at Fox 51 Sports, I'm Tom Caron. Thanks for watching.